The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. The topics discussed may include drugs, alcohol, or be sexual in nature. This show is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. I'm serious. It's dirty. Really, really dirty. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You listen to Fantastic Forum, your weekly conversation about comic books, entertainment, and geek culture. Welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and night, as the case may be, or night, I guess I should say, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him, but you love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he's our resident Dark Knight detective. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident senior reporter. It's Oz.
I don't like how you struggle to introduce me every time.
Was that a struggle? Oh, I felt good about it. Okay. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum. He's our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Hi.
And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about the movie from Legion M. We're going to talk about Archenemy. We are also going to be talking to you all about the DC Black Label comic book, Sweet Tooth, The Return, #1. And we'll bring you the latest in comic book news and, of course, whatever else it is you all want to talk about. So we got all that on the agenda for today. Before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him, this show would not have happened. So thank you, Scott. Hope you're doing all right, buddy. And if you want to get down with Fantastic Forum, we do, in fact, have a way for you to do that. Here's how. Here's how.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.Live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Yeah. I know.
Was stuck to the TV.
The what was stuck to the TV?
The intern was stuck to the TV.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Hey, it's a wild day in America. I know we have listeners all over the world. If you're here with us in America, yeah, you may want a break. We're going to try our best to provide that for you because I know that you might need it, no matter what side of the whole thing you're on.
And if you're in another part of the world, don't judge us.
Listen, feel free to judge. we need your judgment. So go for it. Anyway, welcome to Fantastic Forum. Gentlemen, it's good to be here with you all. I'm actually pretty excited about today's show. I know that came out like I'm not usually excited about the other shows. That's not true. I'm excited every time. But I just, honestly, it's just cool to get the opportunity to talk to you all.
I understand. There's been a lot of women on the show lately, and I know how much you hate that.
Jesus.
It's just the dudes today.
What is this? Wait a minute. Like I love having women on the show. Like, we need it more often. Lord knows, friggin' all you misogynistic bastards.
I love having women too. I get it. I don't know why they have to have a top. That's a whole nother.
Listen,
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there. You, me, and all the.
I don't listen. I don't know what that.
Like you ruined Larry.
Oh, he shook. Look at that. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are seeing it because I thought it was just me.
Internet. What happened? Did I drop out?
You just froze. Like,
Oh, I froze.
yeah, that might be our thumbnail for this week. Just
No.
It looked like you smashed into the windshield.
There it is. I hit the windshield of decency. I'm like, oh, look, Fantastic Forum finally got me. It's like all this time I tried to remain an upstanding young man or upstanding old man, upstanding middle-aged man. Fantastic Forum finally got me. No, I don't know. I guess my internet went out for a hot second because you all started wheeling. And I was like, what's happening? I was like, what is going on? It's like, damn it, democracy's done.
Yeah.
Shut down the internet.
Normally that happens to me, so I was actually like freaking out, like, oh, is it happening already? And then I saw the other two move. I'm like, okay, they see it too.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm glad I'm back. But yeah.
Make one of us.
I'm glad one of us is.
Whatever. You all love me. I know it. You have to tell me. It's okay.
It's not about love; it's dominance.
Meanwhile, we should start without you.
Yes. Oh, look. I'm looking at the chat. Pull up that chat comment, Jay.
Facebook user says, if you ever want to guest, hi.
Okay, well, there it is. Look, we'll definitely book that guest next week. Whoever you might be, Facebook user. It's like, Facebook user, like that. I will track down that silhouette until the ends of the earth. I'll be like, wait a minute, who are you? The one? What? Oh, it's Chris Lee. What up, Cricket?
Chris.
What up, Cricket? Welcome. Glad to look. I'm good to see you in chat. We definitely will get you on one of these weeks because well, first of all, you can call into the show whenever you're ready. That's one thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh, you need a special invitation, because you can call in whenever you're ready. However, if there's something specific that you feel might be up your alley, or something that we all think is up your alley, we'll definitely reach out. Noise.
I was gonna say, oh, user. That's one of those from the Connecticut users, right?
I know, right? Right.
Are we on
Like-
Facebook too? I thought we were just doing YouTube and Twitch.
No, we're YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Jeez, we're just spreading it all over, huh?
And we
Hey,
could do
listen. Wait, say that again, Mo.
we could do Periscope too.
We could do Periscope, even though I didn't even know that. Well, you know what? I think I did know we had a Periscope. Even though, are people even using Periscope still?
It'll just play in our feed, like as a tweet.
Elma Lloyd Bueno says, browsers?
Wait,
You know,
wait.
you can live stream off the OnlyFans.
Wait. What? How did you say that name, Jay?
Elma Lloyd Bueno?
Look, I'm just saying that's Spanish.
What?
So
Jay also took an edible.
so you got L is a Spanish word, malo is a Spanish word, then E, the Y is and then bueno is also a Spanish word.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time I see it, I think of Malloy.
El Maloy Bueno.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. Listen, you're American, and that's okay. Like, even today, that's okay, Jay. You can be American. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Oh, geez. I love it. El Malo y Bueno said, wow. Wow.
He also says fresh cut Lawrence.
Oh, thank you, man. Listen, I did it myself. No, like as to not to incriminate anyone. No, I did it myself. I'm that good. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, yeah. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Oh, what were you gonna say, Jay?
A Facebook user or Crix also says someone becoming a Du Bois expert.
Oh, okay. Now, when you say that, Crix, look, it's Fantastic Forum, so we got to mess around and we got to be like, when you say you're becoming an expert, we just have to understand: are you becoming the Boys TV show expert? That's okay. I'm just asking, or are you becoming like the Boys, the like comic book expert? Because those are two different things, and we don't want to mess around and like call you in for the wrong thing, So yeah, and that's okay. Like I love it.
Starting volume 5 of the omnibus.
That's what I'm talking about. There it is. Look, this is what I'm talking about. You like these TV shows? They're fantastic. You should go ahead and make sure you keep enjoying them. But if you want to go ahead and like take it to another level, check out the source material. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's okay. But I'm just saying, like, if you enjoy the TV show, I mean, it'd be one thing. Look, I understand. Some people are not readers. You know what I mean? Some people are out here like, yeah, it's a movie. I'm not going to read the novel. I get it. I'm not sitting here trying to judge you and tell you, oh, man, you got to read the novel or else you're a son of a bitch. I'm not trying to say that. But I'm not a reader. It's not an excuse not to pick up a comic book. It's 22 to 26 pages most of the time. It's like, and it has pictures, mostly. So it's kind of like, listen, I'm not a reader. It's not a good reason to not read a comic book. That makes you sound illiterate. Stop it. Just stop it. Like, it's pictures and words. So, check out the source material. And like I said, if you're just like, well, I read it and I didn't enjoy it, then you don't have to read anything else. I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, well, if you're not a real fan if you don't read the comic. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, like give the people that help create these things that you like a little bit of love too, and maybe buy a book and just see if you like it too. Because
Chris says, read on the toilet, so no excuses.
There it is. No excuses. Even though now we live in a day and age where technically you can watch TV on the toilet, which is crazy.
I know, right?
I'm old enough to remember when there was only one TV in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how old I am, where I'm like, yeah, there was the TV and whatever your parents were watching is what you watched. And that's why, and that's it. There wasn't even like a discussion. So, or at least that's how it was in my house. I don't know.
Not all of us could also afford that one TV to be in color.
Oz, you're not that old, Oz.
I was that poor.
Fair. That's fair. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I love the best looking thing on TV.
Listen, in Oz's defense, it was a really big black and white TV, though.
No. 32 inches, which I guess was technically.
Yeah, it was huge. That's huge back then. 32. Goddamn.
I freaked out my grandma because I was a little kid. I took a Sharpie to the screen and they turned it on and it was like changing colors on them. It looked like but apparently that meant it was going bad if it does that, so they freaked out.
But yeah, man, that's all I'm saying is give love to the original people. Like, it's one of those things where, like, people that like the Walking Dead TV show, I feel would really, if they gave the comic a chance, would like it more. I really do feel that, just because the comics, I mean, all the best parts of the Walking Dead TV show basically come out of the comic. Like, I could only think of one or two things in the TV show that aren't in the comic that I'm like, that's good stuff, But yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head that's like in that, or like, that was popular in Walking Dead TV show, and keeping in mind that I'm not all caught up, so maybe something else happened. But the only thing I can think of is maybe Daryl. And even Daryl's like not that great. It's an interesting character.
Put him in the comics though.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did a feud with the crossbow.
I thought they put Daryl in the comics. It was Merle that didn't make it to the comics because he's already dead in the show by the time they got to that.
No, there's no Daryl in the comics.
There's somebody named Daryl, but it's not that Daryl.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, look, there's somebody named Rick, but it's not that Rick either.
No, that's not true. Rick.
Yeah, he is. Look, the real Rick raises one hand.
Look,
Damn.
Carol is in the show and not in the comic. Like,
No, that's not true. Carol's
that's not
in
the same
comic.
Carol.
Well, it's not the same Carol, but it's.
Carol-
or I'll say this: that Carol's character arc went drastically different.
And the other chick too, the sniper.
But yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is those characters exist in the comic. They just
Yeah,
have
but
completely
they're not.
different.
It's not the same. They're not the same character.
Yeah.
Carol, I like Carol in the comics when she was trying to fuck both Rick and his wife.
Dang. Of course, that's what Moses likes.
No, but like I wanted to see her, that old lady try to do it in the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Chris asked, did the Ike Zombie comic come out?
I mean, it was a comic before it was a show.
It was in fact a comic before it was a show, and
If you like the iZombie show, look, you might like the comic. If you like the comic, you might like the show. It's two different things. Like, it's not even the same character. It's really like a character that has a similar ability as the character. Like, they totally changed everything.
Yeah.
Wow, she's arguing that it was a comic, that it wasn't a comic.
Oh yeah, it was created. Yeah, like Mike.
We reviewed the comic. We talked about the Beer Terrier.
Let's see, and this is why we haven't had Cricks on the show yet, because this is the type of thing that can't happen on Fantastic Four. You can't come on the show and start trying to argue comics with Fantastic Forum. Like, we don't just say random things like this. I don't know what other comic podcasts or
the intro
or watching that.
The intro on the show says based on comic by blah 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 blah.
Not only that, it's comic art by the comic book artist.
Yeah,
it came out in like 2010.
Oh, now she's trying to do a Geico plug. We're not sponsored, so don't.
No, she's talking about Gekken.
Oh, that the fighting game?
No,
yes, in fact, the fighting game.
It was Larry's show where he forgot everything he heard on Fantastic Forum.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Because you said you talked about this on Gekken, and that it was a show before the comic came out, and she said
I promise you, I didn't do that. Like, listen, this thing. Like, I'm a forgetful guy. I'll be the first one to admit that.
Look, you forgot it was a comic.
I did not forget it was a comic. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I told you not to divide your time. You can only serve two masters. I mean, you can't serve two masters.
Alternate reality. That's what happened.
Must be. So, okay, we should get into.
Look, she said you did in capitals.
I mean, I don't think. Listen, what I will say is this: as much as I love Crixley, she is mistaken on this account. However, Gekken has archives. They're receipts. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go to the Gekken archive somewhere and pull up the show, and if somebody's like, "Oh yeah, here's the audio of you telling everybody that this was a show first and a comic second," I'll be the first one to be like, "Man, I don't know what I was on that day. I'm sure Joe slipped me something that I wasn't supposed to consume, and I don't know why I got that high that I thought that iZombie wasn't a comic." I will go ahead and
further reading. Sorry, Larry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but further reading. Here it says it was a huge deal that the show came out before the comic because Kirkman was attached. Kirkman was not attached to iZombie at all.
No, it's Mike. It's Mike Allred.
Yeah, and the other dude, the dude from Cinderella.
I don't know who that is. Who's the dude from Cinderella?
Christopher.
Do you not remember Cinderella?
Larry
I
does.
remember Cinderella as a fairy tale, but I'm saying Cinderella. What? I don't even know what version of Cinderella we're talking about.
Fables, where she's an assassin.
Oh, Fables. Oh, okay. No, okay, but is that what she's talking about? The comic book Cinderella?
No. The writer from that is the co-creator of iZombie.
Oh, okay. No. Listen. I remember, but if you say Cinderella, like, I love how you said that, Jay. Like, the first the first thing most people think about when you say Cinderella is the assassin from Fables. Like that's not most people's go-to when you say Cinderella. Like
I mean,
I was trying to say it like that. I really was just trying to bring up.
Well, he responded to me like that, so clearly I knew that's what people think the first time they hear Cinderella when I bring up.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you're not normal, Moses.
Like because Mo said Cinderella, I automatically went to Fables.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't know how many times Mo has cried at the Disney Cinderella. You don't know.
Only once.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
iZombie
only one in front of Emily.
iZombie the comic was put out by Vertigo in 2010. The TV show came out in 2015.
Yeah, and listen, this is not up for dispute. Like nobody here.
Apparently, it is because we're disputing it.
Who's disputing it? Look,
Facebook is here.
We're an interactive show.
We are an interactive show, but what I'm saying is, you should pull up the Gekken receipts, and if you can pull up the audio that has me saying that, I will go ahead and apologize to you for disputing it, and I will even try to figure out why it was I was that high that I made that mistake.
If those receipts are produced, you may be apologized to the lady, but not on this show because I don't know if we can have you back on after that.
Oh, come on, man. Wait a minute. Am I getting kicked off of Fantastic Forum? I don't have tenure at this point?
We just need you to do the intro and then we'll take the camera off.
At least one show on the comic, and then we did at least one show on the TV show.
No.
And
we talked about iZombie a lot. I'm not, because we all loved iZombie, right? Nobody here just liked iZombie.
We love to like the art.
Yeah, Joe's not a fan of All Red.
But I like the story and the characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Crick says, I swear I wrote about this, but I am high.
See?
And if you were bleeding cool, you might have.
Not bleeding cool. Maybe like IGN comics? Not the core guys, but the guys they hire.
Lawrence must have thought he was on CNN, so he started spouting that fakeness.
Oh, see, Oz. What were we trying to do today? We're trying to keep politics out of this, right?
That's News Network stuff.
What are you doing?
That's News Network stuff.
See?
Comic News Network.
We can talk about the overthrow of democracy another time, Oz, okay? Today we talk comics.
So somebody that comes from a little bit of Central American heritage, we are pussies when it comes to overthrowing the government.
And listen, let's not do it. Oh, we're doing it. It's happening already. Go ahead, Jay.
No, it's not. But I definitely want to get into that
for the Patreon
on review called The Immortal Warrior, and it basically talks about part of it is about Brazil when they were first colonized, how they got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah. Look, for the Patreon, we'll get into politics.
Is that what we'll do?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Sign me up for that one. It could be me and Oz head to head.
That would be the OnlyFans.
Oh, damn it, Oz. Please put your penis away. Please. Oh, no, Oz. No! Never mind. Oh, jeez. I don't even want to
You see what happens when you don't keep this show on track?
Hey, look, the only person I blame is myself at this point. So it's okay. It's okay. Let's go. Let's talk about Archenemy.
Hold on. Where's the review music?
Woo!
Comic book theater.
I really go ahead, Jay.
Before we get into this, a couple of things from Crix.
Okay, go ahead. Jay.
Wants to know what's your take on the movie Soul?
Did anybody else here see Soul?
I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Haven't seen it, not interested.
Damn. Wow, that's fair. Jay, you didn't watch Soul? No,
No, I didn't.
that's fair. I liked it.
I don't
like
like cartoons.
Soul. That's fair.
I'm a
I like
grown man.
Soul. I like whatever. You listen.
As I have toys about you.
All I'm saying is your friggin' avatar from Animal Crossing told me different. Told me you're not a grown ass man, and I was like, no, I mean he's pretty grown. He's like, yeah, he's grown, but not grown ass. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but okay. We came to a compromise. We've decided you're grown, Mo, but not grown ass. Your ass is young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually like Soul, even though I mean, you know, I know there is it's so crazy because there is some controversy in regards to there is controversy in regards to Soul only because it's like you know, people are talking about how when you have African American leads in a lot of these animated films and how they decide to like turn them into something else during the course of the movie. Which you know,
are people still whining about that?
I mean, why would you call it whining when it's like you said it like, well, there's a movie with an African American lead that comes out every year, and all the other ones had them as regular black people, but these few have them turned into something else. When the reality is, we only get some every few years, and it turns out every time we get an African American lead, they're like, well, we should make them a frog or a ghost or whatever else we can think of other than black. So I'm just saying, it's like I get it.
That was my beef with Coco also.
But Coco wasn't that though.
Yeah, he turned into a ghost.
But he was a ghost that looked just like. Didn't the ghost look just like him alive?
Did that not what happened in Soul?
No.
He looked like Casper.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're
it happened to a white guy.
If you're a ghost, but you look just like how you would look in real life, except that you have like, you know, maybe you're like see-through. That's one thing. And don't get me wrong, like Coco, I love like Coco.
Coco wasn't a ghost, by the way. That was the thing. He was still alive, so he wasn't supposed to be there. The actual dead people were all skeletons.
That's true. Coco's an amazing movie, and Soul, huh?
I don't like Coco.
Oh, okay. So Soul was an amazing movie too. I personally think. However, I understand the criticism. And I can't really defend it because I will say that, you know, through the majority of, through half the movie, he looks like, I guess, like how he's supposed to look, provided that you're talking about an animated black person, you know, but at the same time, the other half of the movie, he is not a black person. He's like a little like ghost or ethereal caricature. So, you know, I get it, but I did like it. So
do the white people in it look like that?
I mean, everybody looks like a ghost that
no. Everybody doing all that all lives matter thing. Do the white people look like
ghosts? The story is not about the white people.
So there's no white people in it?
No, there's white people in it, but none of the white people die to look like something they don't look like. And the black person that's in it, which is the lead, at a particular point doesn't, like at certain points, does not look like himself. And so it's unfortunate. So anyway, but I liked it is the long and the short of it. Archenemy. Oz, why don't you talk to us about what Archenemy is about?
It is it's a comic book movie that's not based on a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done so well that I actually found myself like making sure, wait, is this not like, is it really not based on a comic? But no, it's a little independent, I guess. Is it crowdfunded? Legion, what are they? Legion M?
Yeah. Legion, yeah.
I think they're like crowdfunded or something like that. It's some weird little independent movie production that was able to make what kind of feels like it could have been a big budget movie on like no money. Like their whole budget went into Manganiello or whatever his name is. But it's still it looks really well done, and I personally found it entertaining. It's flashbacks, because they're trying to save on effects budgets, are actually done in a comic book style. So, you know, when a character narrates something that happened in the past in an alternate dimension where superheroes exist, that's all drawn and pretty good, actually. Like it's not like a Jim Lee or anything like that, but it works really well for this movie, the way it's done.
It's definitely stylized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, they're saving money on the budget.
Right.
A lot of the things that they mention about this world with superheroes, like, just sounds a little further out there than I'm actually used to in comics, but that's not the point. You know, the movie itself is an interesting story, and you all watch it.
Real quick, Crick says Legion M is a fan invested company, and Manganiello does a lot of D&D shit with Legion M.
Yeah, and that is important in the sense that Legion M, I mean, you're right, Oz, in the sense that it is crowdfunded, but Legion M is almost like, okay, we're fans of the culture, of like geek culture, and so we're going to fund the type of projects that we want to see. And so,
it's like, like a Geek and Sundry, but it's like, here, you pay for this shit.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. It is like that. That is true, Momo. That works. Right. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, it's not like they're like, you pay for it, like, give us $200. It's like, you know, like we think this is something that's worthwhile. If you feel the same way, invest, and you give what you want. So it is crowdfunded, but it is kind of like a particular audience, you know?
They actually, what happens too is there's a legality, legal logistical issue that comes into play. For example, like on a Kickstarter, you can't get an executive credit or a producer credit on Kickstarter, but the way they do it, you can, and I think there's probably a contract thing where you can't get like points on the back end, when you're talking turkey, we're talking lettuce, but but you get your name in as like a producer because you're an investor. I don't know what kind of return on investment they guarantee or anything. I don't know if there's any equity in it. That's where I'm like a little muddy. There's a comic book company that's doing that too, and they reached out to me and said, "Hey, you want to be a part of this? You can start getting this much back at this much in. We're telling you before we actually launch."
Really? They're give you like dividends?
Yeah. At a certain, and they're like, you just need to give this much now before we actually launch this little like fan-owned campaign thing, and we'll lock you in on this. And here we are.
I'm like, there's no. Look, you said no words until here we are. You're like,
yeah. Well,
does that mean like you? That means you think you invested and you think other people should invest, or does that mean like, oh well, I thought about investing, but then it seemed like some BS? Like, what does that mean?
Look, I'm not a reader. I'm not a reader, so I pay somebody smarter to read for me, and they haven't told me what they read yet. So
got it. I got you. Okay. Look, Mo, when your reader gets back to you, let us know, man. Let us know if we need to put down a little cheddar. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I'm better if you don't, because I still want to hide from the IRS. So.
Got it.
Crick says Legion M also did Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I thought Kevin Smith did that because he talked about going around selling it.
Yeah, well, he sold it through Legion M.
And,
They did Mandy, and they did another one that I liked that I talked about on the show called Colossal. That was actually pretty good.
I know that Nia and I, one year at Comic-Con, went to a Legion M party. I'm pretty sure that was Comic-Con. Felt like Comic-Con. And it was a good time, man. Like, the party was amazing. But it was so funny because... Say what?
That's where all the investor money went.
Oh, I guess. I don't know. I'm not here to tell. I'm not trying to put Legion M out there or anything. What I'm saying is Legion M threw an amazing party. The funny part, though, was that Dante, a.k.a. Rufio, Rufio from Hook. Yeah. Dante, which, amazing dude. Cool-ass person, kick-ass poet. Like, he actually started one of the premier spoken word spots out here in Los Angeles. And he was the DJ for that night. And when I tell you, like, there was, of course, it's like he was like the featured DJ. And, there were people that came on before him, and the party was amazing. The DJs were kicking ass. And then Dante came on, and I think he literally went by DJ Rufio, I think. He definitely had, like, the Rufio, like, headgear thing going on while he was spinning. And, man, he was so terrible. Oh, my God. So bad.
No.
So bad.
What makes a good DJ?
Well, I mean, first of all, if you're talking about what makes a good DJ, in my mind, at the very least, it's like the difference between listening to music and listening to a DJ spin is mixes, right? And I'm not saying mixes have to be like extravagant, because some DJs can do all types of things in between songs and mix songs together and play two songs at the same time. And it's like they're literally making mashups, whether that be digital or on records. Don't get me wrong. I have my own opinions about all that, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm just talking about like the actual act of it, whether you did it digitally or physically, is what I'm talking about. That's what, in my mind, makes a good DJ, because you play the songs you think people want to hear, and you do it in an interesting way that feels seamless. That's what a good DJ is. DJ Rufio felt on all those levels. He didn't play the right music. He didn't play it in a way that was interesting. He didn't play it seamlessly. It was just like, oh man, like, is he okay?
He just put his iPod on shuffle.
No, that would have been better. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, iPod on shuffle would have ended one song in a clean way and then started a new song in a clean way. And that's not what happened in this joint. I was like, oh, dude, I mean, it was messed up. I was very dismayed, because I'm just saying, like I said, like Dante is somebody that, like, I can't say that I know him personally, because I don't, but he's somebody that I'm familiar with, and like, he's like friends of friends. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody who like, I've met him personally. I don't know if he would know who I was or whatever or anything like that, but he's a talented guy, and I know that. And in my mind, I'm like, dude, this guy's like, not only like in the same way where you're like, okay, the guy can act and he can write poetry. Like, he has all these artistic skills that in my mind, I'm like, oh, well, look, if you tell me, well, hey, DJs, in my mind, I'm like, well, Cameron's probably good at that too. And I would be wrong. He was so bad. He was so bad. And you know me, I'm not the person to just be like dumping on people, but it's like, if you're bad, there was no way for me to be like, well, he's good in this sense, but no, I can't even do that. He was terrible. And I was just like, damn, Like this fool messed around and messed the party up. Like people left. No, he didn't. I said the party was good. And then he started DJing and the party became bad. and that's the long and the short of it. Luckily, they kept him to the end, and I don't know if they knew, because it's one of those things where it's one thing if and understanding that, in my mind, I'm like, okay. Like I've been to plenty of parties with like a featured DJ. If you're talking about like Lil Jon or like Questlove, you're like, well, guess what? We're not going to put them on until like
Paris Hilton.
No, listen. Wait, did I say Paris Hilton?
No, I'm asking. Did you ever see her get the DJ?
Listen, no. Why would I put Paris Hilton in the same category as Lil Jon and Questlove? I'm talking about good DJs.
I mean, they're all just playing music, right? It's not like they're playing an instrument.
Hey, see.
Well, first off, Questlove does play.
No, I know he does play, but you're not hiring him to drum at your club.
Listen. This is Moses's like brother's wayward influence on him. No, you're not asking a question.
I heard
you made a statement. You're saying it's not like you're asking to play an instrument in the club. That's not a question.
Is it? I end it with is
no,
it?
No. It's still not a question. Even when you put is it at the end, that's that old condescending ass BS stuff.
Actually, we have
hip hop's not real music because people are just talking.
I agree. Hey, we have
exactly. See, that's how you know you're wrong because Oz agree with you.
Modern day. Don't try to tell me Gucci Gang is a hip hop song. But we do have a DJ expert in chat. The one and only Tiger Claw.
Listen, no, Tiger Claw knows about friggin'.
She knows about good DJing since she listens to one every week. It's about the vibe.
You have not lived until you raved with Tiger Claw.
Listen, I'm not
for the weekend.
I'll be honest. I follow him on Twitter, and
you follow Tiger Claw?
Yeah.
Oh.
I follow him on Twitter, and every time he like tweets about a random track like you should check out, it's always fire.
Okay, listen. I'm not saying Tiger Claw doesn't know good DJs.
I believe you said that earlier.
No, I did not say that.
Again, where
I did not say that earlier. What I'm saying is Tiger Claw knows about DJs in a particular genre of music. That's different than DJs across the board.
No, but like DJing in a party, like aren't you supposed to know? Like, okay, you can go from Thriller and then to like Shot to the Heart to like Bon Jovi. Like every 7-8 minutes, you could throw a Bon Jovi lick or a Michael Jackson lick. Like,
no,
that's DJ a party.
I would agree with you. However, what I'm saying is, I'm not certain all the DJs that Tiger Claw is talking about are those kind of DJs. Because Tiger Claw likes electronic music.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that electronic music is fantastic. I personally enjoy electronic music. However, what you were just talking about, Moses, I feel like 90% of the
electronic music too.
I agree, but I'm saying 90% of the electronic DJs that are out there, like 90% of the ones that are worth their weight, aren't doing what you just talked about. Now, Questlove can do that. Questlove can play an entire DJ set and play no hip hop, and it'd be fire. Which is who I was talking about. Like Questlove can look at an audience.
So what you're
decide.
Sorry, no, go finish your thought.
I would say Questlove can look at an audience, think about what the vibe might be, and tailor a DJ set to the vibe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that most of the people that Tiger Claw is talking about or listening to could do that. And it's not to say that's not a knock on Tiger Claw or his music. That's just saying that, it's a niche. It's a different niche.
So what you're saying is that Dante Bosco didn't play enough Bon Jovi.
What I'm saying is Dante not only didn't play the music that people wanted to hear, but even when he played the music they wanted to hear, he did it so poorly that it made them not want to hear it.
They had already left.
They were just like, you know what? We should go listen to this in the car. Like, God damn.
Should have known his audience. You're at Comic-Con, you bust out the name.
He knows the audience, and that's the thing. Like, it was something about the skill. Like, Legion, it's not Legion M's fault, is what I'm saying. Legion M put on an amazing party. And what I'm saying is, what I was trying to say was, if you're talking about Lil Jon or Questlove, you hold those guys till 1 o'clock because you're like, well, guess what? We want these people to stay all night. Legion M, I feel like, did that with Dante, but I think they did it because they understood that maybe he wasn't that good, and they were like, "Well, everyone's gonna leave when he starts, so we should."
Crick says Dante played what he wanted, much like GoBots. It or shit.
Damn. I feel like that's a little bit harsh on GoBots. I'm just saying, GoBots have their merits.
I just started watching that again.
No, you didn't, Jay. You started watching GoBots recently?
Mm-hmm.
Are you watching that instead of Transformers Earthrise on Netflix?
Oh, you didn't tell me it came out.
Oh, see. No, listen. No. Listen, look, this is me sipping my tea.
Okay. I'll watch it on the 15th.
Okay.
Why on the 15th?
That's when the check comes in.
Netflix again, so I could watch the series finale of Carmen Sandiego.
Carmen's that good?
Dude, Carmen Sandiego is amazing.
Okay.
Like,
Do they find her in the season finale, or is that like a cliffhanger for season 2?
say again?
I think we know where she is.
Find her as the like once they find her, what then what? Like, does she?
They basically they flipped it. It's basically like she grew up in a criminal organization. She changed her mind, and now she basically just goes around stealing stuff before they can steal it. And
she's like Indiana Jones.
Yes. Say again?
She's like Indiana Jones.
Right.
Okay,
But,
I thought it was actually based on the real Carmen Sandiego, but it's
no, they still do the globe trotting though, with the random facts about wherever they are.
What does that even mean when he says the real Carmen Sandiego, like she's a historical figure? Like, what are you talking about?
well based on the game. I mean, I'm not saying in 1582.
It's like, you know, he said Carmen Sandiego like she's DB Cooper. You know, it's like, dang, they messed that legend up.
Loki's DB Cooper, I guess, huh?
That's it. Loki's
Hey,
DB
so
Cooper.
all this to say, how many stars do we give Archenemy?
Wait, man, we haven't even reviewed our yet. We're even talking about it.
I'm trying to bring it back to the topic.
So, listen, I feel like you haven't talked about what the story of Archenemy is actually about.
Whose fault is that, Larry?
Dante? That's what I'm going with. Damn you, Dante, with your terrible DJ skills and your amazing poetry. How dare you?
That's the title of this episode. Damn you, Dante Moscow.
Damn you, Dante Moscow.
The literal
or else other Dantes will be like, what the fuck?
He was awesome as Zuko, though.
Wait, what?
He was awesome as Zuko.
Who?
Dante Bosco.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Look, that took me a minute. I forgot. Yes. He's super talented. Look, I'm a fan of his. Like, I remember being a kid watching Hook and being like, I don't think I would. Who cares about Peter Pan? I want to be Rufio.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Hook, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he crapping all over the genie?
Oh, jeez. Well, look, we see where your loyalties lie.
I just wanted to eat that big ass cheese that was at the table.
Right, look, their food looked awesome. I agree with you 100% on that. But anyway, what I'm saying is, like, this dude was like a hero for me as a child. Then it turned out that he became an even bigger hero for me as an adult. And he's a cool ass dude, and he's multi-talented, whether he acts or writes poetry or voice acts, whatever he's doing, it's amazing. And that's why I was dismayed when I came to find out that he's not a good DJ. And like, I believe that Dante, as a person, as an individual, probably has enough integrity to kind of be like, you know what? I'm not a great DJ. Like, I don't know. Like, it would not shock me to find out.
He's not going to do that.
It would not shock me to find out that he has not done a DJ set since Legion M. I don't like. It might have been one of those things where he was like, "Hey, I tried it, and I was thinking that I could do it, but it turned out I was wrong." Like, listen.
Like I said, Joe's clicking. When was the last time that Dante Box DJ'd on Google? Like, that's that look on Joe's face right there. Like the edibles are just clicking in right now. Look at his face. Yeah.
Or here's the other part. It wouldn't surprise me if it turned out that he was like, damn, I tried it, and it turned out I wasn't good, and so I rededicated myself to become a better DJ, and now he is good. That could happen too, because like the dude is talented enough. Like, I don't feel like he doesn't know music well enough to be a DJ, but he sucked that night, is all I'm saying. That night he was terrible. And I'm pretty sure that anybody that was there would back me up on that. Like, the only people I know of that were that I know that was there was Jennifer Zhang. What?
That's fucked up. Like, Crix was there too. Like, you talking about like
I wasn't there at Crix. Did she say he was there? Did she say
he described the whole night the same way you did in chat?
Well, Crix was there.
That's
Crix knows that it was bad too. Wait a minute. You said it like I left her out, but I didn't even get to talk.
Yeah, I should have left. I should have waited until you left her out. I'm sorry.
You should have. And I probably would have if you had given me the opportunity, but you didn't. So now you're wrong.
So how many stars do we give?
Joe Manganiello plays Max Fist. You guys may know him from the He-Man comics. Goes around fisting bad guys left and right.
That's my porn star name.
Look, that fits so well. I don't know from personal.
It fits so well.
This is all introduced in like the first 5 minutes. Essentially, he was the Superman of his dimension, planet, whatever you want to call it, and he had his Lex Luthor, and in a fight where the entire universe, all life would get destroyed with this one machine that this Lex Luthor type character created. In a fight between the two characters, the machine gets damaged. It opens a rift in between dimensions, and he ends up on our world, basically, where he's lost his superpowers and kind of his sanity too. And he's basically like just a homeless dude, alcoholic guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you find out that even though he's like he's drinking constantly, it's not as strong as like as his dimensions whiskey or whatever. So he's like it takes a lot to really fuck him up. I don't know what's happening. But as this homeless dude, he tells this story to an up and coming reporter or podcaster. I don't know what that. Like he tries. I think he wants to join BuzzFeed or something, and a streetwise kid from the hood, and they become homies, and so Max.
I hate how
he did his hands.
Character.
You got say that again, Jay.
Is that what you got from that character? That he
exactly.
was.
Look, that's what you got from. That's what Oz got, because Oz is not.
Actually, his sister would be the streetwise tough of the movie.
The urban youth.
Yeah, the urban youth trying to come up and get the cheddar, the lettuce from the.
Do your hands again, Oz. Do your hands again.
My hands are holding a beer.
Oh well, you can have a beer in one hand and then be racist in the other. You can
Look,
do it. Go.
I was telling you that earlier. I was trying to have either like a 40, a Cobra, or Magnum for this because we got to get into this.
Jeez.
I gotta get loose.
Or a Cobra or a Magnum. Jeez.
I can't find the Mickeys. I'm sorry, Lawrence. I can't find the Mickeys.
Look, I need you to have the Schlitz malt liquor.
So he starts to tell this story to a kid who's trying to be a reporter, and it's an interesting story. Like, dude, if this story was a comic, I'd read it. And so the kid starts to kind of take what he hears from this guy and really spin it. It like he does a great job of taking like random words spilled out by this drunken alcoholic and making like an interesting character and story, and just the way he presents that story is great. Like, he should be writing comic books instead of YouTube or whatever nonsense he's doing. And so the movie, throughout the movie, the thing is, you don't know if this guy is actually telling the truth or he really is the hero, unless you actually pay attention, because he's wearing like a super suit underneath his homeless clothes. And I don't know why a lot of the people that I talked to that saw it didn't see that. Like they still, like, until you get to the end where they kind of do tell you what's happening, they weren't sure what was up with this guy.
I'm a weirdo, and I look at people's shoes.
Yeah. Look, yeah.
From the beginning, like, I saw his shoes, and I'm like, oh shit, he's got his superhero outfit under there. Because I judge people not by the content of the character, but by their shoes.
No, look, I'm right.
Larry,
Larry, this is the thing, because
whenever I train people on how to interview people to like give them a job, it's like, look at their shoes. That'll tell you everything. They got dress shoes that are too clean and white socks. You're gonna have a problem.
But I used to, because I grew up poor. I used to always be angry at the kids that pretended to be poor. And the way you could tell that they were pretending to be poor is I was wearing shoes that were unidentifiable. They were wearing Doc Martens. Like, those kids were not poor if they're wearing brand new Doc Martens. Not like, oh, they found these in the street and there's holes in them. Those were some nice looking shoes. Like, they get a new pair every year.
And they're 90s Doc Martens, so they were expensive, like under $40 in the 90s.
No, they were 100 and something. Easy.
Yeah, $140.
Why are people
just like
poor?
Like punk rockers and shit, like gutter punks.
Oh, I'm not as familiar with that as a child.
They try to look like they're poor and homeless, but they're not. They usually have more money than you.
Now, the thing about those Doc Marten boots is that they, like, I still have my, well, no, my brother has them now, but the Doc Marten boots that I used in, so here's the thing. The Doc Marten boots he used in high school are the ones I used in high school. And then once I graduated, he took them back. So it's the same pair. And I think the actual company repaired them like 4 times already. So it's a $140 investment back in like 1992 that he's still using now.
Wow. That's crazy.
So it's a lifetime. Like, if you're really poor, you spend $140 in 20 years. Yeah, like that's a good deal. That's being frugal. But those guys with the neon hair that Oz is mad about didn't think like that.
Yeah, these kids were not. Those weren't hand-me-down Doc Martens.
I think Emily just got rid of her Doc Martens. I think like 5 years ago, and she had them since like junior high.
So Jay, what did you think of Archenemy?
Wait, are we gonna rate the Doc Martens?
No, we are definitely not rating the Doc Martens.
It was pretty low budget.
Okay.
Like, that comes across like, it's. There's this one scene where it's a fight scene, and they're doing all this cool shit, but it's in slow motion because they can't actually afford to do the stunts. So that was like, it's weird because it kind of just brings attention to it. the fact that it is like so low budget.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the story, it was pretty standard. So yeah, it felt standard to me. Fine enough.
Okay, that's fair. Moses Magnum, how did you feel about it?
So I kind of agree with Joe. It's low budget. It shows that it's low budget. I think that most of the crowdfunding. I mean, you crowdfunded a movie with Joe Manganiello, and that like you get what you pay for. You know, you got Glenn Howerton in it. I love Glenn Howerton. He was great in it. The performances in here were good from the people where they actually spent the money on. The people they didn't spend the money on, it's like, oh, So you got this weird dichotomy where Paul Scheer is amazing. Like I think Paul Scheer, I love Paul Scheer. You know who Paul Scheer is, man. You love Disney.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah, I know exactly who he is.
From the 616 thing. That's where you know him from, right? Look.
I don't know. I don't know him from the 616 thing.
Where do you know Paul Scheer from?
Like, I feel like this fool's in like a whole bunch of comedies.
Oh, so you never saw his comedy or his own TV show? Okay, yeah.
What's his own TV show?
The League.
Oh no!
Look, I know you talked about the League on Gekken. I know you talked about the League on Gekken.
You were hilarious. I don't know whether I talked about the League on Gekken or not.
Crix is a big fan of the League.
You're probably right, but I don't know.
Look, I was there when you talked about it.
You were there when we talked about the League on Gekken.
No. Well, you and Crix talked about the League, and I was in the back seat.
Listen, I feel like Mo, you were on Gekken, right?
You did a show there, and I was sitting in the back playing with the Chihuahua.
You didn't come on the show?
I don't think so.
I feel like you were at least on one episode of Gekken, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't think I was, but I was playing with a Chihuahua.
I never even saw the studio.
Yeah.
Well, Oz, I mean, at the time, I feel like you were like doing some kind of crazy work.
No, I lived in LA at the time. I was a bartender.
I'm not saying that you didn't live in but listen, wait, like you were the bartender of your own place, right?
No, not yet. I was
when I did
at a club at that point.
What club?
Like I literally just worked New Wave Bar. Oh my god! Oh,
Didn't Public Enemy play there?
Maybe. Did I go there?
Yeah, you went there to one of his birthdays.
Wait, which birthday? Which birthday were we at? You're at the club that you were a bartender, Oz.
I don't know what I was there for like 6 years. Pick one.
His 35th.
Jay, were you there?
No, I wasn't.
I wasn't either, but I remember not going.
Oingo Boingo played there. Well, except for
wait. So I was the only one there?
Yeah.
Well, listen. I feel much better about my position then. I don't know what's happening, but I think that I'm in the right.
I think Crix was there too.
That feels right about in today, like in this day in America. That feels right. I don't know what's happening, but I feel in the right, and so whatever. Anyway, Joe Manganiello did what now?
Oh yeah, what I was saying, the people that they, the people that they actually spent the crowdfunding money on, like, did a great job. Glenn Howerton was great. Paul Scheer was great. Manganiello was great.
You're not gonna give no props to to Skylan Brooks.
That's the dude with the fiction tattoo on his face.
Sure. Yes.
I like his character, and he did a great job. Like I think
I thought he did a good job too.
I think with a better script, where the script. Yeah. That's I think where because I was actually debating this, and I was trying to tell Emily because she hates it when we watch movies for the show because I talk through it because I'm getting my, I'm taking notes. I do it audibly. So today she just played Animal Crossing while I was watching it, So then when I told her, I'm like, you know what, this kid might be good, but with a better, not even a better script, but better dialogue given to him, it would be good, because it was him and his sister talking. And I'm like, they kind of have, it's not there, but he's good. But then when she does script with him, it's not. And I was saying that, Emily just lovingly rolled her eyes at me, and then it just, so I think with a tweaking of the script, I think would have helped this movie a little bit, because I actually like the story. The low budget aspect of it I think it's a benefit, because even in the way it looks, the film grain, the end credit scene, and even cutting to the motion comic thing, it just works. It works. It reminds me of like an 80s movie, and the synth wave, like soundtrack too, like the music was good, like, so there was a little money given to it, and they made it work with it. But yeah, the performances could have 3 out of 5 on performances. The movie as a whole, I think a good 3.5, 4. I was happy to see Manganiello like not rely on his looks to act and perform. So it like now showed some range in him. So he probably was willing to do that for free.
Yeah.
That was his audition tape for Deathstroke.
Deathstroke? Why Deathstroke?
And here's the thing, like, he did better here than he did as Deathstroke.
Oh, he was got like 5 seconds of Deathstroke.
Yeah, but in those 5 seconds, I was like, I mean, he looks good, but he doesn't sound good. Like, his voice here was more grizzled and more like a powered character, or a character that can go head to head with like a superhero or villain. Yeah,
he's the Deathstroke from
the Snyder.
Really?
Yeah.
So
he was in the after credit scene.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, like, but he had like that full white beard, right?
Yeah.
Well, he had like a goatee and it was white.
Yeah.
Or the white goatee.
He didn't have the homeless beard he had in Archenemy.
No, right. But in this, he had like the salt and pepper homeless beard.
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah,
it was like
more.
But in as Deathstroke, he had the full white goatee,
different characters. I don't know why you're confused.
Yeah,
I'm not confused. I'm just asking. Like, so is that like?
You notice he didn't have an eye patch also, as Max.
He didn't have it. No, listen. I'm not confused. I'm asking the question, and you all are listening. You're not answering the question I'm asking.
You sound like me asking about electronic music.
Huh?
You sound like me asking about electronic music.
You know what? No,
I don't feel like you asking about electronic music.
I get it. Lawrence is the Marvel guy. I said Max Fist. He thought I said Mephisto, probably.
No. I'm just asking simple questions that you all are trying to answer before I finish asking the question. Which is, so is that is that makeup or is that a real white goatee as Deathstroke?
It's movie magic, Larry.
I'm asking. What?
Like,
wait.
So he doesn't have a full head of white hair and full head of white beard.
I don't know. I don't know how old he is.
No, he's young. He's like 10 years younger than Sofia Vergara.
I don't know how old Sofia Vergara is. Why don't you just tell me his actual age?
He's like what, 40?
44.
44.
Okay, right. So that might be a full white goatee.
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm just saying. Some people go white early.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Okay, so
what you see here is what he really has, because in the industry, Larry, we work with what we get. We have in the industry they work. He grows the salt and pepper because he's in that age, so that's why they made him look homeless. They look more natural because that's what he got.
So he actually does have salt and pepper in Archenemy. That's his real hair.
Yeah, that's
why they had to throw in that line to explain why he looks so old.
Yeah.
What was the line they threw in?
Oh, that his dirty air and atmosphere aged them 15 years.
Oh. So you're saying that his natural look makes him look older than he actually is in the story.
Well, in the comic book art of the movie, he looked like a kid. Like I look old compared to him. So
I mean, okay, but I
they
mean,
have
you
to
know,
explain it like
the
why
comic
he
book art
looks
is
that way.
art. It's not real life.
Yeah, but they do the cutaways too, where they show him like superimposed with the magenta and blue color as foreshadowing at the beginning.
Okay.
Which was how we promoted
Larry,
this show.
did you watch this movie, Larry?
I watched the movie. I don't
Like
know
they
why
show
you
him,
all.
like they actually used like CGI to make him look young. Like he looked exactly like he looked in Spider-Man 1.
Was he in Spider-Man 1?
He was in Magic Mike also.
I know he was in Magic Mike.
Oh, of course you do.
I've never seen Magic Mike, but I saw his IMDb.
Me neither. Yeah,
I
me
thought he
neither.
was an Amazing Spider-Man. He wasn't an Amazing Spider-Man?
No, he was in Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi. He was Flash Thompson. In that slow motion where Peter's like that fist that went like
the fist. Oh, that's him?
that's
Yeah,
him.
that's Max Fist.
Max Fist. That's the Max Fist that he dodged. He was like,
That's the origin story. Yeah, he still has that scar.
that's it. Oh, I didn't even realize. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
And he
So,
was
okay, but
like
I love how you all talk about Spider-Man 1 like it wasn't like 20 years ago, right? That was like 20 years ago, right?
we all remembered, including Joe, right, Joe?
I'm not saying that you all didn't remember. I'm saying it wasn't 20 years ago.
It doesn't have to be because when Homecoming came out,
What does that mean? It doesn't have to be. When did the movie come out?
because when Homecoming came out,
When did Spider-Man 1 come out?
the Flash's
I'm
comparison.
asking about Spider-Man 1. When did that come out?
You're asking about Spider-Man 1. I'm telling you about our show that you claim to be on and yet don't know of.
When
You
did
know more
Spider-Man
about your time at Geico than you do of the 30 years you've been doing this show.
Jay, I need you to look up when Spider-Man 1 came out.
I
Came out
am.
in 2001.
I'm pretty sure it's 2001, 2002.
It came out
Okay.
2002.
Everyone was still butthurt from the towers getting
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
passed
So
into.
it was 20 years ago.
I mean, that Tobey
Six-
Maguire is still Spider-Man to this day.
I
So
don't listen. What I'm saying is, you don't mess around and talk to me about not remembering that Joe Manganiello. I'm sorry. What did Crick say? Manganiello was Flash Thompson 20 years ago. Listen, I look. Does Joe Manganiello know that he was Flash Thompson 20 years ago?
Oh, he knows.
Oh, he knows. Okay.
I actually credit him with the miscegenation of Flash Thompson in the MCU.
Miscegenation.
Because he was like a swarthy Flash Thompson. Like he didn't look like Flash Thompson as it is. Like he was that looked more like Flash.
Right. This was
Like,
Italian Flash.
Yeah, like a Flash.
He's not good old Irish Flash Thompson.
Right, exactly. And then now we got Indian.
We got Indian Flash.
Yeah,
they got you.
How
yeah.
dare you? How dare you make
They're
Flash
like, you know
Thompson?
what? We don't even need a redhead. We got rid of redhead Flash Thompson. You know what? There's a demographic we can like get rid of. Gingers. We get rid of.
I've been talking about that for years. Like oh my God.
Like
All
we're
the
bored.
redheads. Hollywood hates redheads for some reason, except for that guy that's a singer too. I forget his name right now. He looks like a little elf troll.
How can you say Hollywood hates redheads? There's like plenty of redheads all
Because they
over
always
Hollywood.
they always turn him into something else. Look at to this day. Look at the Batman
The Batman what?
movie. The Batman. That's what it's called. The Batman.
Which
Gordon.
movie?
The one that's coming out.
Jeff Gordon.
You know the one that has not come out yet? Is that the movie you're talking about?
Yeah, because they've already cast it and shot it, and James Gordon is not a redhead.
Wait, so your example of ginger people being disenfranchised is a movie that has not yet released?
Well, no, that's the latest example.
Yeah,
What-
because
what's-
if
so
I
what
come
are the-
if I
what are
come
the
up with something
examples
that's
that
more
have
than
already
6 months
happened then?
old, if I
Mary
come up with
Jane-
something that's more than 6 months old, you get all upset talking about
I'm just saying, like,
oh, that was 20 years ago. Why-
if
Oh,
there's a history,
Manganiello
if there's a history of
Agent
ginger
Venom.
disenfranchisement, let's talk about it.
I've talked
Mary
about
Jane-
it on this show. I've
You
talked.
have?
Yeah, Mary Jane, Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson is not redhead.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's a strawberry brown.
No, he's
Mary-
not.
Mary
Well,
Jane is a
I'm just saying, Mary Jane was a redhead for every movie except for this last one, right? Like
We're talking about comics.
comics,
No,
like
we're not
Mary
talking-
Jane has never not been a redhead in the comics.
And Flash
Right.
Thompson's never been Manganiello.
I don't know what the hell you all are talking about. All I'm saying is
I thought
There
I
are,
was.
like-
I thought I was on the
there
same page. as Oz, but you know what?
minorities that have never been represented in popular fiction,
So,
and you all are talking about white people with red hair, and I'm
I'll
just
just-
like, they show up. Like, I mean, like one of the best, like one of the biggest characters in Mad Men was a redhead.
You're just talking about her breast.
but
No, I'm
originally,
not talking about her breast. I'm talking about her hair. But if you are talking about her breast, then
That's
that's
what
on
you
you.
think was the biggest character because Don Draper was the biggest character on that.
No, I said one
Look how
of the
you-
biggest characters. One of
Look
the biggest characters. I'm saying, like, redheads aren't disenfranchised. They show up in everything. Like the Weasleys are like, oh man, they get made fun of for being gingers. Like that's like white people's disenfranchisement. Oh man, he's ginger. Man, can you imagine being redheaded? Oh my god. Yeah, you're right. That's terrible. Meanwhile, the rest of the ethnic minority is like, wait, what? they're like, so wait, being a terrible white person is having red hair?
Didn't you say no politics?
yeah, Larry.
It's not politics. This is real life. This like what does politics have to do
Well, how
with
many?
disenfranchising real
Just-
actual people? This is not a political party.
I understand that you believe. I understand that you believe gingers have no soul.
I didn't register as black at the polls.
Joe, can you mute him?
I don't like whatever edible you gave him today.
What do you,
It's not
I'm
good.
sober. You sons of bitches.
I don't like whatever edible he didn't take today.
Oh,
He
jeez.
needs to.
So how many like, blue bloods?
Use watermelon gummies. You gotta
That's
try
what it is. I mean, yeah. I'm on that. I'm on those apples. But man, yeah, too many apples today.
So how
This
many
was-
blue blood spurts are we giving? Are we still talking about it? Like
Yes,
we're at a
Archenemy,
tight 118 right now.
you're right. You're right. Look, Oz, how many blue blood spurts do you give Archenemy out of 5?
4.
Got it.
That, like you guys said, there's the main actors did a great job with what they were given. I would prefer that they would have been given something a little bit better, but considering that this was some Kickstarter nonsense, they did a great job. I like that they hid the fact that they couldn't afford effects by doing the comic book stuff, and then the few times that they actually do some kind of visual effect, it looks like shit. So overall, it's enjoyable. I definitely recommend it. You're not going to watch it in a movie theater. It's streaming. I forget what it's on, but it's you stream it. So watch it, enjoy it. I give it a 4.
Jay, what would you give Archenemy? How many blue blood splurts out of 5?
I would give it a 3, like in the most average way. Like it's not like it was unentertaining to watch, but I definitely could have done something else with my time.
Moses, how many blue blood splurts out of 5 would you give Archenemy?
3.5.
Mm-hmm.
3.5. I mean, like, I like it. I like what it does. It's a good example of working with what you got, and ultimately it's intriguing, and I like the character, I like the superhero mythos. And actually, if we even get to news, there is a news story that talks about how the dude running DC Pictures right now is going to introduce us to the world of multiverse, something we've never seen before. And look, this movie, like, if they would have had this thought and actually you could have your comic book main Superman crossing over to our world for a movie and do an interesting story, or maybe not Superman too iconic, but you can bring a character like that and actually kind of that would actually kind of help the medium, because it would kind of like make you kind of, oh man, I got to see what he's like there at that world, because they'll just give you comic book pages there and flashbacks, but his real drunken state here on live action, like, it might be an interesting way to cross promote shit. Of course, I could see it getting played out by everybody doing it like that. Like, that's how you do movies. But, the first one to do it would be a pioneer. And because this movie did it, that dynamic is gone.
Okay. I would give it a 3 out of 5. I feel like just about what everybody said kind of tracks, in the sense that, I don't feel like I wasted my time. It's average, and the talent is top notch. Like, I feel like the people that were given the script elevated it. I don't think the script's good, but I think the talent is, and they made it tolerable. And so, I can't mess around and be like, it was a waste of time, because it wasn't. Like, whether you're talking about, Max Fist, or you're talking about Hamster, or you're talking about Indigo, like, all those characters, like all those people that brought this material to life did all of it a service, because it could have easily been really terrible, but it wasn't. So, I'll give it the 3, and let people know, like, if you have some time to kill, you should mess with this. If you don't, you should look at the IMDb and watch the stuff that these people are in, because they're good. The other stuff that they're in. So, yeah. All right, let's move on. You ready to do some comic book reviews?
Maybe.
Potentially, possibly. Let's talk about
review. Review.
Well, not like that, but like,
let's talk about Sweet Tooth, The Return, number 1.
Sweet Tooth Return, number 1. Man, this is a weird book for me, because the first Sweet Tooth was just such a really good, like, work of passion. Like, you could feel it when you read the original Sweet Tooth by Jeff Lemire, and it's him writing and drawing, and it's just a cool story that spans centuries, and it creates this great mythology. And when it was coming on DC Black, I'm like, okay, well, they're DC Black. They're like, okay, they're kind of cashing in, because like, there's supposed to be a TV show coming. And I know, like, at the greatest Comic-Con of 2020, Joe and I actually discussed the TV show. Like, some guys like trying to get us to buy the comics, like, hey, there's a show coming, you should buy the comics now. And it's like, come on, like, look, we know comics, we know shows. Like, if there's a show coming, like, we're not gonna like the comic if we haven't. So I have no faith in the show to capture these cool moments. I think there's actually a video floating on the internet somewhere of where I actually talk about to Joe on a GoPro camera, like, there's just these moments in that series that aren't gonna like they're just gonna omit them. I don't think they're gonna do, or they'll get canceled before it happens. But this new series, like they're on the brink of the show. The show was supposed to come out, I think, now, but the production got halted because of COVID, and they had this comic, and some comics got canceled and shit. Like, you know what, we need to bring out content. So here we are. Now, I don't know what the Sweet Tooth show is gonna be like, but from taking out this new DC Black issue 1, it's like, well, I think this would be kind of the iZombie thing, like give you a whole other character. Yeah, like, because the way that Sweet Tooth the series ends and the way this one begins, it doesn't connect. I mean, it connects. Really? Well, it connects.
100 years?
Yeah, it's 300 years into the future, and it's a whole different person that has the antlers.
Oh, wait a minute. So there's 300 years between that person that you see in this book and the one from the series before?
Right.
Oh, wow.
It says there's a whole page that says 300 years after.
Yeah, it's like the first page.
Okay, 300 years, but I don't like, if he just says 300 years after, there's no reference. 300 years after what?
After the
first. I know for me, I just assumed that it was 300 years since Sweet Tooth.
Yeah,
but
this one is called The Return. So if 300 years, it'd be 300 years from the last book, from whenever you're returning to.
But then, does that mean that the person in the book is not the same person 300 years later?
Well, you never finished Sweet Tooth, the original. No. Yeah, so you didn't see what happens, and then you don't follow Jeff Lemire on Instagram, so you didn't see what happened.
I shouldn't have to do all that to understand the comic, right?
Well, here's the thing: if it was a cash grab, you wouldn't. like this story would just be, and that's it. And that's how I know, like, that's why I led up with this whole cash grab kind of thing with the show, where it's like, wow, this is a whole other story that's like, it's literally like you do have to read the whole series. You know, that's why after I read it, I gave you guys the digital copies I procured, the press copies, at least for the first arc, so that you can kind of see the difference in the characters. Now, these characters, even in the cover, like the cover to Sweet Tooth the Return #1 and the cover to Sweet Tooth #1 original, they like mirror each other, but you can see some differences in the art of Jeff Lemire, where it's like, okay, these are essentially two different people. And it, you know, in the world of Sweet Tooth, it's a pandemic that hits the world where it kills every human, and then there's kids born that are human animal hybrids. And they're just born that way, and they're the new race. And then here's 300 years later where they kind of got those animal human race under control, so that their existence doesn't hinder the rest of humanity from procreating and being the top of the food chain again. And that's what this first issue kind of implies. However, we're doing spoilers there because I don't give a fuck. At the end, you see the dude, the big guy, which is like another, like the way this first issue ends is like a mirror to the early issues of Sweet Tooth, where you see the same guy guiding this antler clad deer kid, and he calls him Sweet Tooth again. And it's kind of weird. I really wanted to read issue 2, but I didn't get a chance to because, you know, the country was going to turn into Handmaid's Tale. You know, so I decided to take a nap, and you know, and then I got hungry, and then I had to watch Archenemy, so I didn't get to read issue 2.
Got it.
But I was like, yeah, the cliffhanger, I was like, wow, like, and I mean that whole dude's story is really good in the first issue, and they kind of don't resolve it per se in the series like that. Like they kind of do, but I mean, you got to read the original series for that, but and then seeing here again 300 years later, and he looks exactly the same as a trip too. So I don't know if the 300 years thing is just what they're telling that little kid or what, but the people do look like the technological advancements that we see in issue 1 here of the return of DC Black, the return. It's like, yeah, it feels like it's way into the future because the events of Sweet Tooth take place in a place that's, I want to say like 90s, early 90s, maybe late 80s, and it's like society collapsed, like a Mad Max world, like the dystopian world that would have been created in like the 80s, 90s. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's the story here. I want to, I want to see more. I'll probably read it after the show and give you a one shot. If you subscribe, hit the bell, like, whatever. So, yeah, wherever those buttons are. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what like you guys that didn't read the original series think of this issue.
What did you think, Oz?
I liked the issue. It definitely, especially towards the end, made me want to read issue 2, which was sitting right there. But like Mo, I had to fortify the compound and make sure everything was safe. And then
Right.
the show started, so I was like, okay, well,
Oh, there
I
it
got
is.
to do this nonsense. I like the story. Now, I read some of the original Sweet Tooth books, but not. I wasn't all that into it, so I didn't really know what happened at the end of that. But this story by itself is good, even if you haven't read Sweet Tooth. I think it's a good beginning for a story, and there's a lot of things that make you want to pick up the next issue, and that's all you really need from an issue 1. Like when I heard we were doing this, I thought it was going to be like a trade paperback, but it's just a regular 20-page comic or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Vertigo comic that happens to be on DC Black.
Yeah, I'm used to DC Black
label.
Yeah, I'm used to the Black Label means those magazine size, like not trade paperback exactly, but
yeah,
like you're gonna get 3, and that's gonna be a trade paperback for it. And no, this was more of a regular comic, and it's decent. It does what a number 1 should do. It makes you want to read number 2 and find out more about these characters.
Jay, how do you feel about it, man?
I like that it reminded me of anime I like.
Which anime?
The Promised Neverland.
Oh,
A kid, or you have a group that's in an orphanage in the middle of the woods, surrounded by trees, where they tell you that you can't go past a certain point because it's dangerous, and it's the same basic setup. I think the anime pays off a little more because we do see, like in that first episode, we do see the consequence of these things, and we see what happens when Sweet Tooth leaves, but it just kind of opens up into a city. So,
Jay's like, that's not interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not as interesting as getting eaten.
And that's the thing about not reading the original series, because that kind of like makes sense that that's where that world would go, like underground, like that, you know?
Oh, you just reminded me of another cartoon I like.
Yeah, Jeff Lemire.
It feels like that's not a hard thing to do, Jay. Reminding you of another anime that you really like or another cartoon that you really like.
No, not that easy.
I'm just saying, I could sneeze and you'd be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like trying to remind Lawrence of a show we've done before.
No, see, I don't appreciate that dig, but I'll take it. Whatever. So that's fair, So Jay, it sounds like you thought it was all right,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a little bit more that you might have been expecting from it.
Well, no, it was a fine setup. It just like I'm not really compelled to read the second issue. The characters seem fine,
Right.
but again, it's nothing I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's like it was okay.
Okay.
It's just not enough of a hook. I
Right.
guess what it is for me. There's no hook.
No hook. Okay.
You got to read issue 40 of the original series.
That's what you got to do, Jay. And you have to do it, but you need to read the other 39 first, though.
Well, no, the thing is, I actually told Jeff Lemire when I met him, and we got to interview him in this, crappy show we do. And I just told him, like, dude, like, I feel, people talk about, that song by Led Zeppelin, like when the levee breaks, that drum hit, like that's the most advanced technique used to record drums and get a lasting thing that'll last the ages. And that one panel of Sweet Tooth in issue 40 is one of those things that it's like, I don't think any other comic will ever elicit an emotional response like that one page. He's like, oh, really? He goes, thank you very much. But he's like, I really felt like, he said he really felt when he wrote that and drew, like he had to write it and then draw it and then color it and then see it in print. And he had to like just relive that moment every step of the process. And he's like, man, I wonder if people feel that too. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I did. I remember like it was a time when I couldn't sleep. And I was like reading that at like 2:33 in the morning. Like,
now, are you talking about the, are we spoiling the original Sweet Tooth?
I mean, we can.
Oh, did you read the original Sweet Tooth, Jay?
No, I just typed Sweet Tooth 40 into Google, and then I clicked on images, and one of the images that came up was the guy getting shot.
Yeah.
That the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm got it. I'm on.
Joe feels it too, but only through the one image.
Well, because it's a big image, if I remember correctly. Okay.
I did that to Google, and I got a picture of a pregnant woman.
Yeah, that's not the one that might not even be
one. Okay.
The one is there's a character. So this big man character, you're following him for these 40 issues or 39. Maybe I'm off. I doubt it, but maybe I am. Stranger things have happened, like anarchists taking over the Capitol building. But you're following this character. You don't know why his motivation is to protect Sweet Tooth and go on this journey and hunt down these people that are hunting down these hybrids. And then you follow this other hybrid journey that doesn't speak. And it's these lost boys essentially that are being at a research facility, and Sweet Tooth and this dude go to liberate this facility, and the one dude the big man from issue 1 here gets shot, and the one hybrid kid that hasn't talked in 40 issues says one word really loud, and it's daddy when the big man gets shot. And then that little kid that said daddy gets shot in the face. That is the issue I was telling Jeff Lemire about. It's like the one word this kid says, and it's like, man, like it's just so impactful. And like maybe Jeff Lemire and me are the only ones that felt it. Yeah. But it's and then if you actually follow Jeff Lemire on Instagram, he's like, here's a little peek of, yeah, people have been asking and having a lot of questions because the way that Sweet Tooth ends, is kind of a cliffhanger. It's like open-ended, but with a conclusion, And you want to see more. And then he shows a picture of Sweet Tooth as an older man with his son being older. So I assume that's probably 40 years after the issue. But then you get this 300 years into the future, and I wouldn't be surprised if that post on Instagram led to this new series being out. Because,
so?
I guess, I think people ask questions. And then, then you get the TV show news. It's like, Jim Lee's like, hey, you draw something. Yeah.
Jim Lee.
So, yeah.
Well, I will say that, I haven't gotten the chance, of course, to like delve deeply into the original Sweet Tooth. But I did like this book. I do feel like it did lean a little bit towards people that, were familiar with the series, like the original series. But at the same time, I think that it was like, I know for me, it was compelling enough for me to be like, I'd read the second issue. It wasn't like, a must read, but it was like, I would definitely like say, like, hey, pull issue 2 so that I can, check it out or whatnot.
By the way, because you mentioned Sweet Tooth 40, that was the last issue of the original run. So you can get through the original story pretty quickly. It's only 40 issues.
So it's not that one then. The one where I think it was probably like 33 then, if that's the case.
Then how did Joe Google it and it come up with the right image? It's crazy.
No, that was the wrong image. I said it was the wrong image.
See, I thought that was right.
You don't listen to our show like you don't listen to yourself on Gekin.
That's what I do. I'm like, I'm on these shows. I just talk. I'm like, Anyway,
he's got the archives at his computer and just watches them for fun.
I look at them after the fact.
But yeah, I would give this book a 4.5 out of 5. The 4 points come from me loving the original series so much and Jeff Lemire so much. That automatically 4 without reading it. The 0.5 is because I'm like, wow, I'm intrigued now. The 300 years into the future is something I didn't expect. Then seeing the big man at the end is something I even didn't expect after reading the majority of the issue. And then seeing that city, like, done the way it is compared to how I seen how it was done in the first series was another. And the only thing that would have kept me from giving it, the only thing that kept me from giving it a 5 was the fact that I want more and I don't have it yet, aside from it. So that takes off a point, a half a point.
Pettiness.
Yeah, that's the pettiness. That's the pettiness 0.5. Yeah.
The petty 0.5.
The petty 0.5. Yeah.
I love it.
We do this, if you listen, we do this. The petty 0.5, like the half a point.
Right. What about you, Oz? How do you feel about it?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I really wanted to give it a 3.5, but it's a number 1 and it's a regular size comic.
Mm-hmm.
So it, like I said before, it does what it's supposed to do. It makes me want to keep reading the story.
Got it.
And as someone who wasn't huge into the original Sweet Tooth, like I said, I just read an issue or 2 here or there. I didn't go through the whole run like Mo did. It's still coming in as a new reader. It made me want to know more. That's its job, and it did its job well. So I have to give it a 4. If it was something that I knew and loved, maybe I'd give it a 3.5. But as a new reader coming into it, I recommend it. Definitely check it out. It's a 4.
Fair. Jay, what about you, bud? What would you rate Sweet Tooth: The Return, number 1?
I'm gonna give it a 3. Like, I liked it. Not compelled to read the next one, but like I don't regret reading it.
Okay.
Man, Edible Joe is just like everything's a 3.
Yeah.
Edible Joe's a tough critic.
Yeah.
He's too mellow. What?
They didn't even kick in.
You know what I'm gonna get you? Oh, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, I was saying they didn't even kick in. Like they're inconsistent.
Mo, I want you to get Joe edible, but it has to be popcorn.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That's what I was gonna say. Because I can do that. Where I
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if we can get Joe on that edible and that popcorn,
yeah,
that might be the end of Fantastic Forum. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying be ready to come up with a new title for a show.
Well, you're already on thin ice, so it might be the Fantastic 2. Or
wait, what?
Fantastic 2 Orem.
Look,
wait. Why did 2 people leave? What? I don't even. Your math is all off.
You're on probation at this point.
We might have to get rid of Joe and you.
Oh, how convenient!
At that point,
all the black people get kicked off the show. Got it. Okay, I see what's happening. Look, I understand what's going on in Trump's America today.
I got my hair ready in case what went down today would have gone different. Yeah.
Listen, I would rate. Oh, wait. What did you gonna say, Jay?
Just thinking about it, like edible popcorn sounds a little dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, if I get too high, I forget how to swallow.
Yeah.
Like
now we got
so it's for the OnlyFans.
Now we got to slit this fool's throat open just so he can breathe.
Here's the thing, Joe. Hopefully you can think of this next time you get high. Marijuana affects your nervous system in the sense that you feel more aware of your nervous system. So you're more aware of your involuntary functions, whereas throughout you're walking in your life just doing these things because they are involuntary functions. So you just do them, and then you're more aware when you're high and you think you're actually having some input in how these voluntary and involuntary functions get done. So, yeah, next time you feel like you can't swallow, it's like, you know what? I'll just watch The League. Watch The League with Paul Scheer and Nick Kroll. You watch that. Look, any type of paranoia, like panic attack you get from weed, just throw on The League, man. You'll feel like you had the best 4 hours of your life, and it's only been 20 minutes.
There it is. I'm going to give Sweet Tooth a 3.5 out of 5. I would read issue 2. In fact, I'm going to read issue 2.
Yeah, I'm going to read that.
But who knows? I might go back and just try to read the original first.
If you want to do that, I can get you. I have all the I did one of these humble bundle things, so I have them.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to get that.
But yeah, I might read the original first and then go to this and see. Because it would be interesting to just see if my feeling about the issue is different after the fact.
Now, do you have that kind of time?
I do.
340? Because I know when Star Wars just came out.
I read it already.
Really?
Yeah, the High Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll talk. I don't know if we'll talk about that next week, but because all the new all the future state stuff came out too. So we'll have to figure out if we're gonna talk. I feel like we probably should talk about future state first, and then maybe talk about the High Republic the following week. But I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You're ready to talk about future state then?
No, I'm not ready. No, the High Republic. The High Republic is one comic, and then I guess like 3 novels came out. But
yeah, I was talking about the novel.
Oh, the comic came out today. No, the comic came out today, and then like 3 novels came out like yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't check today.
Yeah, and we'll talk. We have enough time to do a little bit of news, so we'll probably talk about that some too. But what I'm saying is, I've already read the comic. The novels I haven't read yet because obviously they came out yesterday, and I can't read a novel in a day because I'm not that dude. And I don't
You're
have
all of them, are you?
I ordered the 3 that came out.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. I mean, one of them is an actual novel.
Yeah,
That's the Charles Soule joint. And then I think the other two, like one's like a YA novel, and the other one is like a novella, right?
Yeah.
So, like the other two, I can probably get through and not even, like.
I admire your commitment to this because those are not on my. Oh well, okay. One of them is on my radar, but you got they're for kids. It's weird.
Okay, slow it down, because you're throwing out words, and I feel like they need to be defined. What's the difference between a novel, a YA novel, and a novella?
A novella is on Telemundo.
See, that's what I thought, but I want to hear what Lawrence's racist ass has to say about it.
Why am I racist?
I don't know. It just came to my head. Just answer.
I'm just saying, like you have like the novel, which is what it sounds like. It's a regular book.
Okay, yeah, we all know a novel.
Then you have a YA novel, which is a young adult novel, which is a shorter read, but it's still a novel.
Yeah, and bigger print.
Right.
Because
page count.
Because the Harry Potter books are all considered young adult, I guess is what YA stands for. But there's some long ass.
Yeah, and Harry Potter books are young adult novels because of the content, but not because of like not by like format standards.
Yeah, they're the exception.
Yeah, like
we're talking about Hunger Games. We're talking about what was that one? I don't know. They were making all of them into movies. Like
you're talking about Divergent,
huh?
You're talking about Divergent.
I was thinking about the other one with the colors, where the girl is like orange or red or whatever.
I'm not even sure what we're talking
Teen
about.
Titans?
No, but generally speaking, generally speaking, a YA novel is like from a format perspective, is usually like Jay said, bigger print is usually like half the size of a regular novel. So like from a reading perspective, it's not like that much reading. It's literally like the page count is probably cut in half of a regular novel, which when I say a regular novel, I'm not even talking about a Harry Potter novel. Like Harry Potter novels are like regular novel size or even longer. Like they're huge books. And I'm not saying that doesn't make them YA novels, but they're, like Jay said, they're the exception and not the rule. Like most YA novels are like half the page count of a typical novel. A Harry Potter book, especially when you get to the later books, are probably twice as long as even some regular novels. So,
okay. And so then novella.
And a novella is like literally like not like a quarter of the size of a regular book.
Okay, because growing up, to me, a novella was something else, and I'm not talking about the TV show. Like,
no, I know what you mean.
Have you read Hispanic novellas?
No, because I can't read Spanish.
Yeah, it's a comic book. You look at the pictures.
I like looking at the pictures is not reading. That's looking at pictures.
Well, for those who may not have read them, because to be honest, the only place I ever found them was in Mexico, and my mom would actually import them and put them in her salon for people to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say Hispanic because I'm not sure if I want to say Mexican, but I'm not sure it's restricted to Mexico. That's just the only place where I saw them.
I mean, you can talk about Mexican novellas, and that's okay.
They were essentially sized manga.
Yeah.
But you read it correctly, left to right.
Yeah. Right.
In Spanish. Yeah. So it was kind of like my introduction to comic books.
Right. And you might be like, this book might be that. I'm not 100% certain if it's going to have pictures in it or not.
Oh, shit. Nice.
What?
Necro.
It's like this. It's like this size, maybe not as thick, maybe about half. And
Look, that might even be bigger than whatever. But is that pictures, like pictures in comics or pictures in words?
Larry, you know Neko Ramen. Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'm just saying Neko Ramen I feel is popular enough that if they wanted to do something prose, they could. What?
The edible kicked in.
What?
How do you do a prose Neko Ramen?
You describe the pictures like any other book. Like, what are you talking about?
That sounds ridiculous to me.
Is that what
You're saying? You're saying it like, yes, novels describe the scene.
Okay, I'm gonna write a novel then because I can't draw comics.
Well, there you go.
Do you see why Lawrence is hanging on to the show by a thread?
What are you all talking about? Like, why are you all talking about like they don't make novels about comic books? Like they do it.
It's a 4-panel gag comic. Like, how do you turn that? Yes, you could, but I don't see anyone doing that. That would be ridiculous.
Joe, have you read?
Say again, Ma?
Have you read Business Cat?
I've seen some Business Cat. Yes.
Okay, it's amazing.
Cat's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Cat Agent is better. Like I don't know. Watch
I gotta.
that.
I need to get into this cat community.
Hey, listen, don't do it, Oz, unless you're ready to give up your wife.
Did you say life or wife?
Wait,
one, but not the other.
Which one will get you to read the book?
I'd have to think about it.
I'm like, which one of those are you okay with giving up for the cat book? Anyway, what I'm saying is yeah, the High Republic, the other joint is like, yeah, it's an even smaller read than the YA novel, and then you have like, you know, yeah, but no, I'm definitely like, I'm interested. But anyway, look, we might talk more about that in a little bit.
I feel like Joe has joined the High Republic.
Jay's the founder of High Republic.
No. Mo's the founder because Mo's the one giving him the stuff.
I like how I showed up to Joe's house and I'm like, here, I brought you Christmas stuff. I went over and stuffed his stocking, yeah, and I like gave him edibles.
Emily held him down while Mo was talking.
And then I gave him edibles and something comfort, and they're like, "You need a bag?" And he's like, "Yeah, over here they don't like fun."
It's true.
I love it.
I wish I could get high.
Yeah. Well, look,
man.
if you guys would have won the Capitol, you could have.
I don't know. I don't understand how you guys can just sit there and take in all these mind altering substances.
I don't know. Anyway,
Lawrence doesn't get the joke.
I got the joke now. I got it now. I saw you with your paps.
So, anyway. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jay.
No, did we finish rating Sweet Tooth?
We did.
Yeah, we were about to go over
Comic book news.
We should have a like kind of, well, not like that, but like.
All right, let's do some news, folks.
So, Future State started. Anybody
Yes.
reading that? Care?
I care. I bought the books that were available at my comic shop, so we'll see.
I put about half the books in my pull list, which actually they're technically new books, but because I already had like Detective Comics and the Batman books, and I had all these books on my pull list, they translated them to future state. So most of the ones that
really?
yeah, so like half my pull list for future state is kind of a transfer over of the original books. I technically I only added like 3 more books.
That's good for like, because I mean, I know that I don't. Well, I shouldn't say that because I didn't have like a whole bunch of DC books on my pull, but at the same time, like when they transfer to a new title, I have to let them know like I want that too. Even though they might ask me, but they may not, but they won't do it automatically. So like say if I don't pick up the phone call, then I don't get the pull necessarily. So but that's it. So you added what, like Harley Quinn and like Swamp Thing?
Supergirl, Wonder Woman.
Gotcha.
It's like 3 or 4 books. I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I did that for 52. I did that for 52. I don't feel the need to do it again.
That's fair.
Especially as I've read like kind of descriptions of these stories. I'm good with what I got. They got me tagged with 4, maybe 5 more books. Mm-hmm. But that's it. I was surprised I took Teen Titans off.
See, that's really interesting because I kind of did the opposite in the sense that, well, I'm not, again, I'm not down for my pull, so with a whole bunch of DC stuff. But from my own perspective, I'm like, well, what's available, I want to try. So, like, I'm going to give all the issue 1s a try. And all of them didn't come out today, right? Only some of them, right?
Yeah, not all of them.
Okay. So, like, all the ones that came out today, I'm pretty sure I got. Like, I got the next Batman and the Superman joint and the Swamp Thing and the Harley Quinn, which I was like, I don't, I really don't want to read Harley Quinn, but at the same time, I'm like, well, it's Future State Harley Quinn. Let me try it, and so like all the Future State stuff that came out today, I bought because I'm like, well, let me try the number 1, and because in the same way that I did with the New 52, where I was like, I'm gonna try it just to see if I like it or not, and I was pleasantly surprised by some of them.
I have the problem that there's too many books for each character. Like for Superman, I mean, I guess Justice League doesn't really count, but then there's Superman and Wonder Woman, Superman of Metropolis, Superman of this, Superman of that.
There are a lot of Superman books. I didn't even realize that. How many are there?
You're gonna make me pull up the list.
Oh.
But like for Wonder Woman, there's Future State Wonder Woman, which I guess is Yara Floor, the book.
But the Wonder Woman book is only the 1 book, right?
No, because there's also the Immortal Wonder Woman. Then there's a Wonder Woman Superman book.
So how many books are in the Future State run?
As far as I thought that the only DC was only publishing 30 some books for Future State. Is that wrong?
Look, that sounds about right. I'm trying to pull up the list.
Okay.
Right now.
But here's the thing, 30 some books is a small number of books for the number 2 retailer in comics, you know what I mean?
That's Image numbers.
Yeah, no, really. And I'm not saying that that's wrong or anything. Maybe 30 books or less is the number of books that all publishers need to be publishing to be, profitable, and it that makes sense. But I'm just thinking about it from a Marvel perspective. If Marvel is only publishing 30 books, a third of their line would be X-Men books.
Okay, so here's my example, because I have the list up right now. I think it's actually 24 or 25 books. But just Superman alone, there's 4 books.
Wow.
There's Superman crazy. Worlds at War, Superman Wonder Woman, Superman of Metropolis, and Superman versus Imperious Lex.
Imperious Lex? What is that? Who else reads
that?
Oh, man.
It's a hybrid of Lex and Imperious, obviously.
Okay. It's actually a construct of Namor's imagination.
like, and that's the thing that's kind of blowing my mind about it, where I'm just like,
By the way, that doesn't include Batman Superman, which is another, I guess. So 5.
right. Well, it depends. Look, it depends on whether you want to call Batman Superman a Batman book or a Superman book. But
I think it's both.
Sure. Hey,
Why not both?
I would not deny anybody that. At the same time, I'd be like, oh, there are 5 Batman books and there are 5 Superman books. It's like, well, one of those books is a Batman and a Superman book. So let's call it 4.5. Right? Like, just
I got rid of the Legion of Superheroes. That was garbage. I try to slog through.
Oh, you mean the past book?
Right. I don't picture Future State being any better.
Well,
and it's weird to give me a Legion of Superheroes Future State book because they already take place in the future, and it's the future state of hero.
It could be in the further future of the future.
No, too much.
No, got it. No, like time doesn't work like that.
Too much.
But here's the thing, Oz. I will say this: like, if you as the DC guy is not in on it, what does that say about what they're doing for this?
It says they're fucking up.
There it is. Okay. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll give it a try just because I'm like, and the same mentality I had, or at least, like I said, my mentality is the opposite of yours, where I'm like, oh well, I tried New 52 stuff, and some of it I didn't like, but a lot of it I liked and didn't expect to. I'm willing to give all the Future State stuff a try for issue 1, even though what I will say is this: they did some crazy like the next Batman was, I think, either a $7 or $8 book. It was a lot. It was bigger, but I'm just like, why? Like,
Here's the thing. You're saying that because I'm not buying all the books that's a problem. I see it as they're doing something right because they're getting you to buy more books. You didn't have this many books on your pull list
from before. DC. No, you're right. You're right.
And so they're getting people. They already have my money, and actually, even still, they're getting more of my money because, like I said, I added a good at least 4 or 5 books to my pull list. So they're getting more of my money, but more importantly, they're getting new money from you.
That's fair. You're right. I mean, because I was reading Batman, or buying Batman, I should say, because I'm behind on Batman. But I was buying Batman, but I wasn't buying Superman. I definitely wasn't buying Harley Quinn, I would have bought Swamp Thing if they had put one out, but they're not putting one out until today. So the other thing that was happening in the shop that I was a little dismayed by, which I was like, or maybe not dismayed, maybe blown away by, is DC's alternate covers. Like, they have, like, the A covers for Future State, which, regular covers and regular paper and all that kind of stuff. Then the B covers are like cardstock covers. And, they're nice covers, like some of them. I mean, like the Swamp Thing alternate cover wasn't one that I was like, oh, I should buy that. The next Batman cover was one that I was like, oh, I would get this cover. But then I looked at it and it's like, okay, it's a cardstock cover, which, okay, fine. I could understand you would charge more for that. But they were charging, like in the case of, I think, the Wonder Woman, the difference between the cardstock cover and the regular cover was like $2. And the difference between the Batman book, I think, was $1. Which the Batman book was already like I said, $7.99, I think. So they're like, oh, we're going to charge you $8.99 for this cardstock cover. And I'm just like, no extra content, literally just a cardstock cover. And I'm like, no thanks. Like, I probably would have bought cover B if it was like the same price. But because it was a cardstock cover and, it cost me $1 more, I'm like, I'll pass on that, especially with no extra content. And I'm just like, no, like, why? Like, if that feels very, very, like, I know, like, in the past, in comics, we talk about gimmicks. That felt super gimmicky to me. like maybe one thing if you're giving me like a foil embossed cover. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a gimmick too, but it's a gimmick that makes me feel like my dollar went somewhere.
Was that the actual cover price though? Like, was that actually printed?
Yeah, that was the cover price. It wasn't an upsell from the shop.
I'm finding like I looked up Wonder Woman Future State #1.
Mhm.
Cover A, B, and D are all $3.99. Actually, cover A is $3.19.
Nah, I think you're looking at like a online retailer price or something.
Yeah, but they're not gonna sell it for, if it's a $7 comic, they're not gonna sell it for $3.99.
But
before
if they get, but if they get a good enough discount, they'll sell it at cost just to get it out.
Well, look at the cover. Like the cover has the price on it. What's the cover price say?
$4.99. So it's $1.
Okay, so
Hold on, that's cover D. What is
no?
That's second printing.
If cover A is $4.99, then maybe it was $4.99 and $6.99 for the cardstock one.
See, cover D is cardstock also. It's the Wonder Woman 1984 cardstock version.
And it says $4.99?
Yeah.
On the cover?
Yep.
Oh,
you want me to print that for you?
No. I'm just telling you what I saw in the comic shop. Like it wasn't like here's the thing. Understand, I know like my shop will definitely on some things they'll upsell some stuff. So it's like I know that that can happen. What I'm saying is what I saw was a difference in cover price from the cardstock to the original cover to the cardstock. Look at the Batman one. Is the Batman one the same price in that same way? Because
which one is the Batman one?
I think it's called the
Detective.
Batman. No, it's not. I think it's called either the next Batman or the new Batman. But I know there was like a difference between. I feel like it was $1 difference between the original cover and the cardstock one, and I could have swore the Wonder Woman was like $2 difference, and I was assuming it was because of the movie, like the movie just came out, and because the cover says Wonder Woman 1984 on the cover, and I was just like, really? Like that seems weird, but it wasn't bagged and upcharged. It said it on the cover, and so I don't know. Like I would like to believe that they don't sell comics at a larger rate in California than they do anywhere else, but I guess that's possible.
Okay, no. I see what you're saying. I'm looking at Future State, the next Batman, cover C, $8.99.
Yeah. Versus the A cover, which is what is
I gotta look at the A cover.
$6.99.
So why don't you like the cardstock covers?
It's not that I don't like them; they're just not worth $2 more.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was. Was like it's not like, oh, I don't want a cardstock cover. It's that if you're gonna do cardstock, it's like if you charge me 50 cents more, maybe I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. You're gonna charge me $1 more. I'm like, If you're gonna charge me $2 more, I'm like, no way. Like cardstock is worth 10 cents. And it's like, if you're saying to me, like, okay, well, this art is different and better, of course, like, I mean, obviously, alternate covers are made that way, where it's like the idea.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm looking for the issue, and I can't. It doesn't have the cover price on the cover, where I'm looking at it anyway. But they have the price as $7.99. So it's $1 to go from regular cover to cardstock.
Okay, and I feel like that was the case with Batman, which $7.99 is still a lot for a #1 issue, even though
is that a regular size book for $7.99?
No, it's more than a regular size book, and that's what I'm saying. Like the Batman, the Batman book was large. Like I get just by feeling it, I know it's more than like 22 or 26 pages, but it's still a lot of money. Like $7.99 for a #1 issue is a lot. and then they charge you an additional $1 for the card stock. I thought the Wonder Woman one, I felt like it was $2 difference they charged you from the original to the card stock, and that very well could be like $4.99 to a $6.99, as opposed, because I don't think it costs as much as the Batman, but I do know that the difference was $2, and I was like, why? Because card stock is not that expensive. So I'm just like, look, I'm like, this is AT&T trying to get their money out of DCs. I'm like, this is wild right here, because I'm just like, dude. So, we'll definitely talk about it. We'll figure out if we're going to talk about it next week or the week after or whatever. But we'll talk about it. But, I'm definitely like, well, let's see how this turns out. And it would be, I'm interested to see how you all feel about it. Because obviously I know I'm like, Oz is our DC guy. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, Oz is going to be in at least to just see what's up. But even Oz is kind of like I feel like I'm more enthusiastic about Future State than Oz is. And that's kind of crazy to me because I'm like, I don't know what that means for like you, Jay.
Well, for Oz is like that because every character is like miscegenated.
Is a miscegenate? Was that what
you said? Like every character is miscegenated. Like there's no white people in Future State.
I mean, I don't know if that's true.
No, but that's what Oz is, like all in.
Got it.
Now, I didn't hear a no from Oz.
Well, Supergirl's so white.
Yeah, the greatest DC character.
What else should we talk about?
Well, Walter Hamada, he did an interview with Daily Press, and one of his like key quotes that stuck out to me. He's a dude. Kudos to Brooks Barnes. Sounds like a comic book character. He's the guy that he did an interview with New York Times, and I guess they reposted it here in Daily Press. But yeah, he points out in one of the little mini paragraphs, as newspaper writers do, Walter Hamada is 52 years old. 52. Yeah. So, but one of his quotes is, with every movie that we're looking at now, we are thinking, what's the potential Max spinoff? Which I don't think that's like when you talk about AT&T trying to get their money,
right?
That sounds like an AT&T-ism,
right.
Like that. It turns out that the 5G isn't the detriment to the world. It might be that greed, and only in pop culture world, really, because ultimately, like this shit'll pass,
right?
And maybe on our deathbed we'll get when we do our live stream when we're all on our deathbed, we'll have a good DC movie to like be like, man, now we can die. It'll be the last Fantastic Forum episode ever, but. Yeah.
Are we all dying at the same time? Like, does that mean like one of us poisons the others or something?
It's in the contract. Like,
it's in the contract. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn.
That's why Oz dropped out, because he's like, yeah, I know where this is going.
Oh, he's back. All right, you're back in the sarcophagus with us.
Did you hear what
I said? Bury you with the rest of us, like.
No, I didn't hear it. I was gone.
That the Walter Hamada guy, the guy that's running DC Films. His key quote from this New York Times article was, where'd it go? With every movie that we're looking at now, we are thinking, what's the potential Max spinoff? But that to me, that feels like it is, the AT&T trying to capitalize on everything. But this guy might actually be good for DC Films because he's, the Brooks Banks or Banks Brooks, Bradley Brooks. It's a BB name. Brooks Barnes. He said he makes a point in the article to point out that Walter Hamada is 52 years old and he's running DC. So that means something.
No coincidence.
I'm gonna hold off and see what these new TV shows look like the new Gotham.
Look, we got to worry about what these movies are going to look like if they're picking movies to what the spinoff can be.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Batman, from what I've seen so far, looks like it's going to be good. I could be wrong, but they did that with the Gotham spinoff already in mind. So, I mean, I think the movies will still be better than the TV shows.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, it's gonna suck because, yeah, I don't. DC's not good with the movies.
Howard Stern did his walk, New Year show, like finally back after the winter break, and one of the first things he said, Wonder Woman was a piece of shit. If DC, like he said, he goes, if DC had any sense, they just hire Marvel to make their movies.
Well, yeah.
And it's like, it's really not like the way he said it makes sense. Where it's like, you know what, we don't do them good. Let's just hire these guys. We'll make money off of Marvel, like Sony does.
See, but they did that, and Justice League was not better.
No, but that's the thing. They didn't put Marvel. They had somebody edit and make it good, and then do reshoots.
Isn't Whedon like the Marvel guy? Like he
had a beef with Marvel and he left. That's why he went to Warner, because he was trying to do another Warner project. It was like, oh, if you do this Warner, we'll do this. We'll like this for you if you fix Justice League for us.
I guess my thought more than anything is like, Joss Whedon has a whole body of amazing work, and the one thing that he did that wasn't good was Justice League. So how do we be like, oh well, Joss Whedon obviously was the reason Justice League failed? It's like,
well,
all these DC movies that are subpar before Joss Whedon got there.
If we're talking
all these movies that Joss Whedon did that were fantastic, so why is Joss Whedon the factor that made it bad? Like, why is it?
I'll tell you why. If you look at Joss Whedon's body of work, his worst failure, which is the Justice League movie, had the most people of color in prominent roles. So that right there, boom, that tells you everything you need to know about Joss Whedon.
Now, we say most people of color. Are you talking about Aquaman and Cyborg? Like the two?
Wonder Woman technically is seen as a minority, being of 20%. That they're seen as an oppressed minority. I mean, look, they were enslaved too.
Well, technically, no. The Israelis are seen as the colonizers.
Come on, man! Like, what are you talking about? We're talking crazy this year. It's like, I'm just saying, like, we go mess around and be like, oh,
here's the thing.
White supremacists do not like the Israeli people.
Why are we acting like they're not more people of color in Justice League? In Avengers 2 than there are in Justice League.
Well, because Joss Whedon is a white supremacist, so he doesn't consider the Israeli people.
No, what I'm saying is there are more minorities in Avengers 2 than all of Justice League.
All I know is that if there was a ton of colored people in Zack Snyder's Justice League, you couldn't tell because they'd all just be gray washed.
The biggest problem is when they give the movies to somebody who doesn't understand the characters. I mean, in 1984, I read some quotes from Patty Jenkins, and I don't think she understands the character that she was doing. Patty Jenkins is an amazing director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's
writer. As a writer, I'm step back a little bit.
I blame Jeff John.
And I think that was the problem with 84 is she did a lot of the writing on it, and the Wonder Woman that she wanted to see on the screen isn't the Wonder Woman that we're used to seeing in comics. It's not the warrior. She didn't understand Wonder Woman as a warrior, as somebody who's willing to snap a dude's head in front of everybody because that's what she has to do to stop something bad from happening. somebody that would admonish Batman for not putting down his enemies forever and allowing them to get out and commit more evil.
I wish they would have got a Ouija board and conjured up Darwin Cook and be like, "Can you write the Wonder Woman movie?" Because remember in New Frontier, that segment in New Frontier where they go to the Vietnam War, where Superman is doing the whole comedian Dr. Manhattan thing, and then Wonder Woman he just saves a bunch of refugee women that were
all
raped by
too, right? It's not just me.
What did I?
Did you say?
Did I free?
Yes, go ahead.
In New Frontier, there was that scene where they were fighting in. Look, who had the edible? They're fighting in Vietnam, and then Wonder Woman just goes to Superman, and it's ultimately you're Superman. Man, you're not fighting for these women, you know. She had her own agenda in Vietnam, and that was amazing. And that was
down at Superman.
Exactly, and towering over him too. That's one thing I did like about 84. She towered over Steve Trevor. I know it was wedges, but still, I like wedges. They're hot. And I think the biggest problem that Patty Jenkins had with 84 was it's not about not understanding Wonder Woman as a character as much as not understanding her villains as how they're supposed to be. You know? And they were never really
more so the villains, I think.
I'm sorry?
I said I think both, not understanding Wonder Woman, but I think you're right. More so the villains, and if the villains were good, it would have made the movie better.
I even hate it when Marvel does this, where they make the villains relatable and sympathetic. And honestly, I don't want a villain that's sympathetic like that. I don't need that to want to see him get beat. You know, I just understand that comics are about good and evil, and then when you want to make them complex, you're like, well, the good and the evil doesn't quite align, but it's more about the people involved, not the villain and the hero. You know,
look, one of the best movie villains in a comic book movie today is oftentimes Heath Ledger's Joker, and that's a guy that they don't humanize him. You don't know anything about. They try to find out about him, and they never really do. All they know is the dude is chaos, and he's got an agenda, and we think we know, but maybe not really. So we don't have to get elaborate backstories and have to sympathize with the villain to like him.
Yeah, no, and I think y'all are right in the sense that you don't have to sympathize with a villain for it to be a good villain. I don't think there's anything wrong with sympathizing as long as it's done well, but I think that's what it boils down to. Where
Thanos is a good example.
What it really boils down to is # bring back the Snyderverse.
Nah.
It doesn't boil down to
well,
that.
Here's the thing. That's one of the things that Walter Hamada was talking about. That's one of the things that Walter Hamada was talking about, that he's going to introduce movie-going audiences and people that like comic book media in other forms that not comics into a concept that they're not used to, the multiverse. And that was and these movies moving forward, you got Aquaman, Aquaman's not because of how the Joss Whedon thing and then the Snyder thing, there's different universes now, and Wonder Woman 84 doesn't line up with what Snyder set up. So he's it's all multiverse. That's all he really says. It's all multiverse, and it's
well, the
hold on. He's talking about it's a whole new concept, but it's literally Multiverse of Madness isn't a title was announced 2 years ago, and then we have the CW Arrowverse. Yeah, they literally made shows not be in universe just to make a multiverse. Yeah,
right.
The Flash movie is supposed to take place in the multiverse. They're bringing back Keaton's Batman.
Yeah, but they got rid of Cyborg.
That did happen too. Supposedly they wrote out Cyborg, and yeah, Keaton is supposed to be the main DC extended universe Batman, which
That's not true.
oh,
You're just spreading those fake news.
He is explaining it wrong.
okay, so say it then. What did I say wrong?
What happened was they asked somebody, I forget the guy's name right now, but they asked somebody, I believe working with the Flash movie, about who the main DCEU Batman would be, and the person responded as saying Keaton, but he later clarified that he was just talking specifically for the Flash movie, not necessarily that the main DCU Batman was Keaton. That's the Batman for that movie, because I think they want to go with Pattinson, whatever you want to call him. Some people still want Batfleck. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's still that's in there. Especially we have to see how the Snyder cut does. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but some people do. So it's up in the air.
What I'm hearing is my rumors trump your rumors. That's what I'm hearing.
Look, your rumors were told on a show that one of the co-hosts came on this show and told us lies.
I mean, what, you guys gonna keep it vague like that, or are you gonna?
That's Walter Hamada bringing the multiverse.
I'm saying you, Mayor Young, are full of.
It's me? Oh wait, is this a Gekken reference? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, look, whatever.
I don't even know.
I need another drink after Oz did all
that. I was like, wait, I don't know
like,
what
I had a limit today, but fuck that.
I don't understand why you have any limits.
Listen, he's a no limit soldier. I thought I told you. No, but anyway, okay, so fine. I mean, listen. Look, I also heard that there was going to be like the rumor is there are like Keaton, Affleck, and Pattinson are all going to be Batman at some point, or at least referenced, I guess. Because I don't know
in the Flash movie. I don't know. I didn't hear Pattinson. I heard Keaton and Batfleck in the Flash movie. Which, if they try to do a Flashpoint thing, I kind of see where they're going, but I really think that's more fan service.
Do you really though? Do you really see where they're going?
Yeah, I mean, you read Flashpoint, right?
Yeah, of course we read Flashpoint, but
yeah, I think they would do that where.
But Flashpoint doesn't have anything to do with multiple Batmans that are the same person. Like Batfleck, Keaton, and Pattinson are all Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
that's true.
And none of them are Thomas Wayne.
Right. So it's like, you know.
This is the beauty of edibles. You see Joe's face right there? Like, he's actually enjoying the show finally. In the 50 years we've been doing it.
It only took 24 milligrams.
I don't see Pattinson being in the Flash movie. Maybe Batfleck, but I don't see.
I don't understand. Like, here's the thing that blows my mind. I don't understand what makes Pattinson that much like less likely to be in Flash than any other Batman. Like in fact, he's the Batman that's coming up next. Like, it makes the most sense for him to be in the movie.
Well, can we just get like Adam West too and Val Kilmer?
Right.
Well, Adam West is kind of dead.
Well, look,
look,
is he?
So was Princess Leia.
Right, exactly. I'm just saying, like,
so was Mark Hamill.
It's like the logic doesn't make any sense. Where it's
hold on, Mark Hamill. I feel we should say Mark Hamill is not dead yet.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, like,
I wanted to see if you guys would catch it or not.
It's like Pattinson makes the most sense to be in whatever upcoming DC movies there is. You know what doesn't make as much sense is Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck, who's quit being Batman like 3 times at this point. So I'm just saying, like, you know, it's like it, and I'm not saying that I don't want to see these people. I'm just saying that those are technically the less likelier people to be in any upcoming DC movie.
Right, and that's where that's where I have a problem with your logic, is you're saying Pattinson makes the most sense.
Yeah.
But you're talking about a DC movie. Why are we talking about what makes the most sense?
Oh, okay.
You know they're not going to do that.
Look,
right.
Can we just get another Jonah Hex?
No.
You don't want another Jonah Hex.
No. Listen,
I think Walter Hamada could do it because he's 52.
He'll do the sign of the cross in the first 5 minutes, and you'll be out.
Mo,
Yeah.
you got
I got mad at Pelosi.
Mo, you got a new Swamp Thing comic this week.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like it.
I'm not saying you like it. I'm just saying that it happened.
Hey, Joe, whoa, what are you doing, Joe?
No, that was me. Sorry.
That
That was
I
me.
just heard the word female voice talking about consent, and I'm like, Joe, what are you doing?
No, I was looking up which books came out today.
That was Lawrence.
Yeah, my phone heard something and started talking. I don't know what it was. But anyway, so we talked about Keaton. We talked about Cyborg. What else did we talk about before we go?
We didn't talk about what's the news story I sent you guys? Oh, we talked. Your girl was over on Jimmy Kimmel flirting.
I don't know why she's my girl. Just
You know why?
I had the one random dream, and I don't understand it.
But it was a weird sex dream that only like lesbians, prepubescent lesbians have.
Why is a lesbian dream?
Because like you literally you just dreamt that you and Gwyneth Paltrow were holding hands, staring longingly in their eyes in like real time. And when a dream is in real time, you know it's special.
Is that the rule?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
you're young out there trying to get that goop.
Gwen with that goop.
Yeah.
Gwyneth and I had a very special moment together.
You know she's tight because she's got those jade eggs in there.
What? I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
She puts jade eggs in her vagina. I'm sorry, I meant in her cunt.
To strengthen the muscle.
Jeez.
Lawrence, you can buy a candle that smells like her vagina.
I do know that, and I don't want it.
It smells like lavender and sardines.
I'm not looking for that. Like I don't need anything Gwyneth Paltrow's trying to sell.
I like lavender.
I don't even understand.
I like sardines.
Oh, jeez. Wait, so she was flirting with Jimmy Kimmel, and what happened?
Nah, it was just I just thought of you because he's like Jimmy Kimmel did his introduction. He's back at home because the quarantine here in LA, so his show has to go back home. Yeah, and so he introduces her in a like how Jimmy Kimmel does. Jimmy Kimmel's a funny guy. He's my this is why I always talk shit about Jimmy Fallon, because I wish there was the late night wars like Letterman and Leno right now, where there's so many. Like right now is when you could really get savage, but they're all friends and they're all okay with John Oliver getting every Emmy. So it's like let's be
honest though, he deserves them.
Look, I talk shit for all of them because I talk shit for Jimmy because that's the horse I back. But I talk shit for him because they're all friendly. Like nobody likes James Garville or whatever the fat guy is that does the karaoke thing.
James Corden?
Corden, whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
James Corden's good too.
No, he's not good. And Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers.
Oh.
Seth Meyers' show right now looks like he's doing it from home in quarantine and nobody's listening.
I love Seth Meyers.
Huh?
I love Seth Meyers.
I love Seth. He's a comedic genius. Like I love his work. Him doing a late night show is not the best.
I mean, that's what I'm talking. Like I like some of his work too, but I really love his late night.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so funny. He's got this style to him that I enjoy.
Like I don't.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Lawrence, in your dream, did you call her Gwyneth or Pepper?
No, I called her Gwyneth.
And did you have a funny goatee?
No, I'm not. I wasn't trying to be Iron Man, Oz. I don't like Iron Man like that, dude. It
Trying to be
wasn't a
War
Marvel
Machine.
dream.
Oh.
Look, if it was a Marvel dream, it would have made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And he would actually come.
Weird dream about Gwyneth Paltrow specifically that I don't understand, and it still bothers me because I'm just like Gwyneth Paltrow. Like, I mean, it's not like I wouldn't say like, oh, I would never be attracted to a white woman because I would be, but I know the white women that I like, and she's not on that list, so it's weird.
We know exactly his list is Christina Hendricks from Mad Men.
No, he's into that porn chick.
First of all, I
can't remember her name. It's fuck, that one wrestler the one like used to be women's champion.
Listen, I don't even know who Christina Andrews is. I'm definitely not gonna know who the porn star
Nobody
is.
said Christina Andrews.
Oh, what'd you say?
Christina Hendricks.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who'd you say?
Who'd I say or who I say?
No, who did you say, Mo?
I said Christina Hendricks.
Oh, I do know who that is. And yeah, she's fly as hell. But
Sable. We love Sable.
Sable.
Yeah.
WWE.
The wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a Sable fan.
And she was the 10th muse in comics.
You're hilarious. I think you're thinking like I like Trish Stratus.
Yeah, Trish Stratus was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trish Stratus is super hot. But
I don't know if she did porn.
I didn't know Sable did porn because
She did Playboy. Did she do hardcore stuff?
No, I can't.
I got the Playboy. I don't have the Pornhub.
Isn't Sable married?
They all were.
Does it matter? You can't porn if you're married.
This is what I'm saying. This is why we need the Patreon to get Dr. Keith Abloh to like get into Larry's psyche, because he asked these questions before he's beating off. He's like, I can't beat off to her. She's married. And then he's like, I don't want to beat off either.
Who's Dr. Keith Abloh? Who's that?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy I got on retainer when you're willing to go into therapy on Patreon.
I'm just like, damn.
And we need people to sign up to the Patreon so we can
Dr.
keep them on
Keith-
retainer
is
and analyze Lawrence's sexual malfunctions.
It's like, do I have like some kind of problem? Like, what happened to me?
That's up to Dr. Larry Adlow to find out.
Whatever you do, don't Google Dr. Keith Abloh. All right.
I promise you I won't.
But it cost me $150 a week to make sure he can cure Larry so that he can beat off and watch horror movies.
No, I don't want him cured. I just want him analyzed.
Because I want him cured because look, he talked about he's already all in on High Republic, but then he didn't do that like reaction that Joe wanted for his horror movie. Like in 2 months.
I thought about that today myself. I was like, damn, I didn't do that.
Like, you should have thought of that when you bought High Republic.
No.
I remember him asking me, "Hey, how do you shoot this so I can make some videos?" And having a great conversation on how stuff is done. I've put out 4 videos since he asked me that question. How many have you gotten?
Subscribe, like, and get notifications so you can get those because they'll be coming out this week.
Is this what we've devolved the show into? Okay, well,
I still got like 17 minutes on the recorder, so yeah.
I'm just saying, like, look, what's happening in chat, Jay?
In chat, we got
Hecht has something here.
Hecht says Whedon didn't make the whole Justice League. He edited it to make something WB wanted. Justice League is Superman 2, and Snyder Cut is the Richard Donner cut of it. Except Snyder's shit was ass. So,
damn, I love that. I love this. So,
he
also,
says that having not seen it.
Tiger Claw says also Joss Whedon right now isn't in a good place with all the accusations of being an asshole while reshooting Justice League.
Like he's in a position to be president.
Listen, I'm just all I'm saying is
Ray Fisher, can you do that with a little more gusto?
I mean, yeah, if he would have a token as his AD, but I don't know why we're talking politics all of a sudden again.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
All right, so
So back to Larry beating off to Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, let's talk about Larry beating off.
Let's talk about the High Republic. Can we talk
Is
about
that what you're beating off?
Real quick, Larry, you're gonna like this. Aaron Singh. We've dealt with him. He's our contact at Marvel. Well, I should have said that, but he's not there anymore. Now he's our contact at Skybound, which is great because he just copied and pasted his contact list, so we're on it. So now we're gonna have Skybound news, reviews, and another blacklist on our name.
Is that actually true?
What do you mean?
Like, are
That
we
he's gonna cut and paste?
Like, is the left actually black?
Well, I noticed that, like,
I feel like we were already on the Skybound list, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, we were, but so wherever that lady goes, we're gonna be in that. And now, so our Skybound contact, because I don't know, look, all you OG fans, if you go back through the years, we were Dark Horse heavy for a good while because the Dark Horse dude took care of us, and he made sure we had everything we needed to like just read comics. Yeah, and we left. All of a sudden, Dark Horse is like, "Yeah, we don't like you."
Right.
And it happened with Marvel. Our contact in Marvel left, and he just started writing comics instead of doing PR stuff. Jim McCann, good dude. And then that's done. So like now he's not even doing comics anymore. I don't think.
The problem
doing comics at period.
I don't think so. And then so the dude at Marvel that was our contact would give us all the news and shit. No free comics, but it's okay. I pay for it. Look, at this point, we either pay for comics or we get press copies. But he's moving to Skybound, so we're still gonna give you Skybound news when we get it. Yeah.
The problem with us in Dark Horse is one or two of us might have made the mistake of expensing hookers and cocaine on the budget that they handed us, and that might have made us look bad. And
we didn't post a video.
Which
thing.
Well,
only was that?
OnlyFans didn't exist at the time, so we really couldn't post that video of that event. So,
and then even it got to the point where Dark Horse was going to have us do how they do their whole panels on the floor, do their like be the master ceremony for everything, like when Guillermo del Toro's there, whoever, and we're working on that, and then like literally we were getting that deal set up where we're like the go-to people for their Dark Horse booth at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And then that dude left. And now he's a heavy metal journalist. Over at Loudwire.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's freelance, I think. But I still keep in touch with him because we like him. I gotta hit him up on Schaefer too.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude. But the new guy literally and look what happened. Now, all of a sudden, Dark Horse lost all their licenses. I blame the new guy.
You're right. It's his fault. So there was, in fact, basically a live stream to talk about all the High Republic stuff on Monday, and I did watch it. And
I guess you loved it, huh?
Well, I'm not gonna say that the live stream itself was like so compelling. I like the High Republic stuff. I was already kind of hyped on just because it's a new era for Star Wars that hasn't been touched, and as you all know, like my favorite time period is actually the Old Republic in Star Wars. The High Republic is not that; it's a different era. But it does kind of like what I like about the Old Republic is that it's like Jedi and Sith, like at a higher level. You know? than we've seen in, you know, like the eras that we've seen in the movies.
Darth Revan is in the Old Republic, right?
Correct. Right. Yeah. Darth
How
Revan.
how far back is that from the Skywalker era? I guess is what it's called.
Right. Like you know, like I know that, you know, generally speaking, like the time, like the Battle of Yavin is like the kind of like center point, right? So I don't remember how many years. Well, I'll say this: the Old Republic is technically like, you know, a number of years in and of itself. I don't remember how many years constitutes the Old Republic before the Battle of Yavin. If you would be so kind as to look that up real quick, I'd appreciate it. But it's
What-
On it.
Which one is the Battle of Yavin? Is that the one after the original trilogy or right before the original trilogy? I feel like it's right after the original trilogy.
No, I mean, Yavin is the second Death Star, right? Or is that the first one?
The first one.
Okay.
So okay.
So it's the first Death Star blowing up. So the end.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of the Battle of Jakku. Okay.
No, not Jakku. No one's talking about
I
Jakku.
know. Jakku is kind of the
No.
Jakku is kind of the separation between the original series and the new.
Yeah.
It's complicated because the books don't count anymore.
No, the books. I mean, the books count still.
No, they don't. Filoni's bringing them back.
Count?
Filoni's bringing them back, but not really. Okay, but
But yeah, the Old Republic.
because the thing is, I've heard the Old Republic as being centuries before the Skywalker saga, but then I've also heard rumblings that Darth Plagueis,
Yeah.
Being part of that Old Republic, High Republic stuff,
Darth Plagueis is a part of the High Republic.
but see, doesn't like he lives to the point where he trains Darth Sidious, right? Which Darth Sidious, like at his midlife, is the beginning of the Skywalker saga. So it's not. It doesn't feel like it's centuries removed from the Skywalker saga.
Well, the end of the High Republic is the beginning of like the whole what is that? That's the I forget. They actually do the timeline in the comic that just came out, or they show the timeline, which I think they've showed that before too. But is that the No, it's not the New Republic. What is that? But basically the Clone Wars era of things, like the prequel era, the High Republic ends right before that begins, which is how you can get Darth Plagueis being Darth Sidious's master. Which we're not certain, but I personally think that the Acolyte TV show that they mentioned might potentially be that show. Like the show might be about Sidious as an apprentice, which would be super cool if that's what it turns out to be, because that whole show is supposed to be like all about dark side stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there won't be other people, but it would not shock me if it ends up being like one of the characters ends up being Sidious as an apprentice.
I guess I'm asking the wrong question, because if the High Republic ends at the point where Sidious is either an apprentice or already becoming the master, I guess the real question is, how long does the High Republic or the Old Republic, whatever you want to call it, how long does that last?
Got it. That's a good question. Jay, you have that timeline by chance?
Yeah, the Old Republic era is from 25,053 BBY to 1,000 BBY.
BBY is before the Battle of Yavin.
Right.
Okay.
And for context, the Phantom Menace takes place 32 years, or 32 BBY.
Right. And so between that 1000 BBY and 32 BBY is basically where the High Republic.
So the High Republic is 1,000 years.
I don't think it's 1,000. I think the High Republic they're saying is like six. I think that like the comics that they're and the books they're doing right now, I think are technically like 600 years before the Battle of Yavin. But obviously that doesn't mean like,
And
everybody is there.
in Star Wars, when they measure shit in years, that's how we would take it, but not how they would take it.
Right. I mean, like, obviously like Yoda's race is a long-lived race.
Yeah.
So it's like that 600 years is nothing to them. Like, in fact, Yoda was in the first issue of the High Republic comic book. And it was definitely a younger Yoda.
Did he look like Google? Was he cute?
No, he doesn't. He's not that young. No.
No, but he's not cute. Like,
no, he doesn't look like Grogu. Grogu's like 50.
I just want to see if I want to get a High Republic Yoda pop.
I think he had hair like you, but brown.
So hair
Like
like me.
Mo or like me?
Mo.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
Don't Yoda species have that like faux hawk thing going?
Maybe.
But I will say Disney's definitely going all in on this High Republic thing. And, they had like all the authors that are doing all the books on there. And, I won't say that the live stream was something that was like, oh, if I wasn't in before, it would bring me in now. But it was interesting enough. And as a person that was already interested, just because I like Old Republic stuff and High Republic stuff feels like it's more akin to Old Republic than it is like, the movie stuff and that side of things. Because it basically is the era that Obi-Wan kind of like mentions to Luke, where it's like, oh, Jedis are like the protectors of the universe or whatever, and so it's like the height of the Jedi Order. That's what the High Republic is. And so like it's like much more optimistic than any point of the Star Wars universe that we've ever seen before. And they have like, because things are in a good spot, you have like this very like charismatic and optimistic chancellor, and they're trying to go out and do amazing stuff and make the universe a better place. And the Jedi are there to help protect the Republic, but things go wrong and they go up and they go awry. And then from there, we get the stories that we get. So the main thing that I like, they have like, I mentioned the novel earlier. I mentioned a young adult novel. I did mention the novella. And then you have the Marvel comic. And then the other thing that I was a little taken aback by, because I didn't realize this, but they actually have another comic that's a Star Wars, the High Republic Adventures comic. And that's going to be put out by IDW. So IDW is putting out a Star Wars comic as well. So
here comes the money.
Here comes. Why is that? Here comes the money.
I don't have the button.
No, I have it, but like Larry, like
what?
Here we go.
More money, more money, more money, more money.
because I'm a shareholder. Like,
oh right.
yeah, like you don't remember that fact? Come on.
I forgot. I'm sorry, man. I don't keep track of your stock portfolio. My bad.
You better.
I'll make sure that I keep better track of all your finances so I get my dividends. I'm like, I've invested in
Well, I need the alibi. So you got to.
So yeah, so I was like, oh, I didn't realize that was happening. So that book didn't come out this week. I think that comes out next month. But yeah, 3 of those books are out. That came out yesterday, and then the other 2 I think come out next month. So yeah, if you're looking for Star Wars stuff, they're like I said, the High Republic is going in, and they even mention like other like multimedia stuff, which it's small stuff. Like if you have Rogue Squadron, they have like a cockpit memorabilia thing that's like a High Republic. I know, right? I was just like, dude, like really, like why, like. But I guess people want that. I don't know.
We're laughing for totally different
reasons. Yeah.
Oh, because of cockpit?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. What are we, 9? We're 9. But yeah, like if you, I don't know if you guys have played Rogue Squadron, but you can like decorate your cockpit with like different little like flare or whatever. And one of them is a High Republic lightsaber, I think.
I don't know anything about Rogue Squadron until the Patty Jenkins movie comes out. Then
the game is really good. I mean, if you all haven't played it,
N64 game or Windows 93 game?
No, the like 2020 game.
I think that was.
I don't know nothing about that.
I think that was an arcade thing too.
Is it on PlayStation?
Yes.
4 or 5?
No, only have 4.
It came out for the last gen systems, but I would assume it plays.
Can't be that good then.
Look, Joe, you already have that on PlayStation 4, but the guy in Abu Dhabi is playing it.
No, it's no longer the case.
Oh, okay.
I did get my account back.
Yay, hooray.
They didn't make me pay for all the stuff those guys stole.
Good.
But did they let you keep it?
No.
No.
But can you play Final Fantasy though?
Yes. Yes,
Yay,
yeah.
hooray for Jay.
Right. Jay didn't want to play Goat Simulator anyway.
So,
It feels so good playing on a controller again.
Any other news before we get out of here?
Eternals #1 came out, and I'm hesitant to read it. But
speaking of Eternals,
I bought it as well.
Did you read it?
Not yet.
Yes.
Mo, have you seen the toys that they put out? Because that actually shows what their costumes are gonna look like.
Oh, from the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about the comic. Like, I give a fuck about comics.
I know. Just trying to get you riled up for the movie.
Nah, you want to get me riled up? No, it's not gonna. Look, it takes a lot to rile me up now. It's. I've witnessed a lot of shit in 2020 and 2021.
We're getting him the Lego Eternal set for MLK Day.
Look, I don't. Honestly, look, what does 2020 taught me? Look, you could play the final thought music because this might be my final thought. But what 2020 and the first 6 days of 2021 told me is that I'm Latinx. As long as I have rice and beans, I'm gonna be good. I don't need nothing else. Like, I'll live off of rice and beans my whole life. You know what I mean? And fuck everyone else, and I'm just gonna do me. Nobody's gonna look out for me. Yeah.
There it is.
And it also showed me that America's a bunch of pussies. They can't overthrow a government.
Word. There it
As
is.
Lazy.
As a person of Mexican descent, Latinx is actually more offensive than Hispanic.
Yeah.
But nobody cares.
Yeah,
because they just want to look like they're woke, and they don't really care about history or what people actually think.
It's white people giving you a label, so now they feel they can get. Oh, we didn't give them a label. We're too busy eating the fruit they picked.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't speak for the other south of the border races, but for Mexicans, Latinx is actually even more offensive. But whatever, no one cares.
Black Compat in chat said 2020 taught me all I need is a can of Twisted Tea to stop racism in its tracks. And honestly, I can vibe with that, except for the fact that if that guy would have had AA early on, he wouldn't have been in that position, even if he was racist. So we can have adult alcohol education as part of your health class in high school.
I saw that video. I feel like he wasted
socially and responsibly.
Don't waste alcohol like that. Like there's
really. Like, I mean, I don't even like it even taught me that Twisted Tea, like people actually drink that shit. Like I see it at the store and I'm like, ugh. And this guy was grown ass too. Like, come on, man. Like I know it's 2020, but you're more affluent than that.
In 2021, I might have to actually try it now. I've never tried Twisted Tea, and I feel
don't. You know what Twisted Tea is? It's what we used to do at Joe's house where we drop vodka in the brisk. That's what it is. In fact, that hit better.
I didn't know Twisted Tea existed until the video. So.
Oh no, I've seen it.
I actually would like to try one.
I'm the guy where the homeless person told me, don't drink that shit. That shit'll kill you. And I look at Twisted Tea and be like, ugh. Yeah.
So, wait, are you actually playing the Final Thoughts music?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're done, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, no, we're done. I just can't hear it if it's actually playing.
No, I haven't played it yet, but
okay.
I have a separate Final Thought. That's a mini.
I Mo announced that this will be his final thought, and then it was like afterwards, like I have a separate final thought. Let's play a final thought.
Because my final thought is a mini Moses Magnum heavy metal minute. So it's like,
got it.
I don't know. It sounded like he had a seizure. I don't know what's happening.
It's like the internet slowed down. Give me a final thought,
Keep your fate out. Pick it up, I guess.
Got it. Jay, final thoughts.
All right. So if you watch Archenemy and you're looking to pair it with something, I suggest MTV's The Max. About a superhero caught between two worlds. Who's trying to help a young woman, help save her in New York. It's got some similar themes, and it's really fucking good. And if you want something to pair Sweet Tooth with, I suggest The Promised Neverland. I talked about that a little bit earlier, where you've got the kids in the forest. They're told to stay in, but if they stay in, they'll get eaten, so they need to find a way out. But alternately, you could also pair it with Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beast. Which was about a girl that lived underground. She's forced to come up above ground during an emergency, and she's stuck there with all the different animals. Like nature is just kind of mutated, gone wild, and so she's dealing with beastmen, funky animals, and trying to find her way back home.
Good job, Jay. I'm like, damn, I feel like you did your own little show just now. I'm not mad at it.
I love his pairing with segments. I think that could be a one shot. Like,
I agree.
When we talk about it in the week, do a review of what your pairing with would be.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. It's very classy.
Sounds like
all right. It sounds like what?
Sounds like real work.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Look, I had a heavy metal minute, but it was a mobituary where Lexi Lightho from Children of Bodom. If you listen to Heavy Metal Minute throughout all of 2020, there was a bunch of drama there too. I got through it, and then it turned out he just died. Just straight up died. So I didn't get to that Heavy Metal Minute here. But then Leslie West died of the Great Bad Mountain, and that didn't happen either. Like, I didn't get to do that too. And it's weird. There's a weird crossover between those two. Like, this guy was a band. Leslie West was in Mountain, which was in the 60s. And even the way he sings and shit kind of influenced, I don't know if directly, but Alexi from Children of Bodom, and they all happened to die within 8 days of each other. So it might be an interesting Heavy Metal Minute that you might get on YouTube if you subscribe, like, and hit the bell.
For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. Like Moses said, like, subscribe, follow, all the random social media stuff that happens. Do all that, please. We would appreciate it. Also, interact. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want us to cover, what you don't need to see more of. We'll take all that criticism, all of that input. This is Fantastic Forum. We'll be back next week. Until then, we're out.